Just dancing with my eyes closed. You think I could be the next Ed Sheeran? Just dancing with my eyes closed. 'Cause everywhere you go, I still see you. And time is moving so slow. Beck's going live too? Really? Why? Didn't Beck just go live? Well, regardless, we're just gonna watch that lukewarm tea stream and chat, hang out. Survivors of Amberlynn. Let's just hop right into it because it's long. It's long. I mean, there's no way in hell. No way in hell that we're gonna get all the way through it. So let's just like start, watch what we can. Skip around maybe. Skip around maybe. 1.25.
Guys feel better that it feels like you guys aren't completely alone, like you guys are an isolated incident, if that makes sense?
Right, yeah, absolutely. And it's like, I know that there's more, there's others out there.
Oh, God, I just...
And it's like, even the people in her girlfriend's lives, her partner's lives, even their families and stuff have to suffer through her.
Mm-hmm.
I like how we haven't even said her name.
Why are none of them cammed up? What is this shit? You know what Chantal would say if Chantal caught a whiff of this live stream.
We shouldn't. Nobody say her name. I love that. Yeah, it's like Beetlejuice. She'll just appear.
Yeah, she shall not be named.
Yeah, she who shall not be named. I call her Hamby. Or Pookie. It depends on my mood. But Casey, does it make you feel better that you're like not completely, like you feel like you're not alone out there? You weren't an isolated incident?
Well, I already knew. See, that's a one thing about being fucking ground zero, I guess, is that I knew I wasn't, but reaching out to other people is very like, hey, I was effed over too. You want to talk about it? Like, that's hard to do.
Chantal has rabies. I saw she got bit by a stray cat. Oh my God. Rabies, Lynn. No, not Lynn. What am I saying? Cam up. Cam up. Foodie is a zombie now.
Yeah.
So it's not, and it's just I don't know. It's just like, this is the first time I've ever talked to anyone that's been in the past. I mean, I knew of Crystal because like I've said, she was talking to Crystal well with me, but I never like sat down and talked to Crystal. And to all of you asking for us to reach out to Crystal, please leave that poor woman alone, please.
She doesn't want nothing to do with it. And it's myself and drag you through the way you deserve.
I just love the way you said that. I'm gonna re-traumatize myself, and yeah,
because I mean, it was bringing up stuff I completely forgot about.
You're like, what the hell?
Yeah, and then you feel so stupid for it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it took me a long time not to feel dumb about it, because it's like, you don't, in the moment, you're just like, oh, I care about this person. I'm not gonna. Right. It's maybe like.
Well, also Casey was so young. I mean, Casey was like what, 15? I mean, you can't be like, oh, 15, you should have known better. It's like,
I can care about them enough to divert this kind of treatment, and it doesn't work.
Right, and it's like you were put in sort of the same position of her grandmother kicked her out and she had nowhere to go. Same
position?
Yeah, like she told me the reason she had to move in with you is because her grandma wouldn't let her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was, she got that phone call / text message when she was with me in November. She was supposed to come visit me for the month of November, be around for my birthday and Thanksgiving, and then go back home. That obviously did not happen. Yeah. So
she probably knew all along, even before she went to visit, that she wasn't going to be welcomed back. And I mean, at that point, she was 19 or 20, dating a 15-year-old.
My mom even talked to her mom, and her mom said, like, yeah, Amber can't come back.
That's wild. And it's like even your own family don't want you to come back. And it's like there has to be a reason why. There's a common thread. And you will not realize it. But that's what I'm saying. She did the same thing to you that she had done to me. She was like, I don't have any family. I don't have anybody else. You are all I have. I need you. And I'm just like, that's so true. And I can't just leave her to her own devices because she can't survive on her own.
I know. And
Yeah, so then she preys on people that have goodwill, and actually care, like actual people with empathy. So she preys on that, like, oh, look how helpless I am. If you don't wipe me, if you don't feed me, if you don't drive me, then I'm just gonna die. I'm not gonna be able to take care of myself. So she preys on the goodwill of other people to enable her own laziness.
and then you do the good thing and go like, okay, you know what? I'll be here for you. And then suddenly,
How old? Sorry, I might have misspoke. 19 and 15. How old was Casey when? Or sorry, how old was Amber when Casey? How far apart in age are they? Is the audio sped up? Ever so slightly.
it's like a light switch goes off, and you're like, what happened? Like,
Well, I mean, and neither of you are stupid for, and I think Jade will agree with me. Neither of you are stupid for falling for that because, like, I've talked to Beck for about a week. I've known Casey for a while now, and both of you
Over
are
a year
kind.
now.
Yeah, both of you are kind human beings.
They're 3 years apart. Someone's saying 17. 17 and 15. Well, I know that Amberlynn and Destiny were like 6 years apart. But I don't know what the age difference with them was. 2 or 3 years.
And it's human nature, but beyond that, it's your guys' nature to see somebody in need, especially somebody that you think that you're going to build this life with or a relationship with, and they need help. Like, you're not going to turn that down. I wouldn't be able to. I don't think Jade would be able to either.
And narcissists, well, not the personality disorder, I'm not diagnosing the personality traits. Narcissists like that tend to kind of feed off of that kind of energy. They'll seek out kind people who like to help others and use every single bit of them.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that. And that's what she has done in every single situation.
Exactly. And she really has. If you watch the relationships, it is trippy how she reused that over and over and over again. It's disturbing.
Sorry to interrupt you. I was just going to say,
you interrupt me all you want. You're good.
No, this isn't live. This was they went live at 6 p.m. So this was about 3 hours ago. They just finished their live stream.
This is about you. You're good. Tell me to shut you up.
But I mean, if you look at her patterns with who she chooses for her partners, they're always really kind, quiet, timid people. Every single one of us. But well, Destiny wasn't really all that quiet, but Destiny was very kind, like to me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like everybody else that she had dated was just took care of her, was so good to her, and then she.
These are friends. Jade and Nerfy, they are friends with Casey. They're just like, so it's like a panel. So it's like, I think that one of them or both of them have a reaction channel, and then they're friends with Casey.
Whenever we break up with her, we're monsters, we're awful, we did this and that to her, and she's just got something bad to say about every single person she dated.
And that she never did anything wrong.
No, yeah, absolutely. She'd never done anything wrong.
It's amazing because it translates online too, and that just trips me out. That that whole I'm completely innocent.
Did you watch this live? Some of it. I actually went to Cracker Barrel and got meatloaf and mashed potatoes, and it kind of made me sick. So, like, I watched some of it, though.
I don't know what everybody's talking about. I'm fine, kind of thing. It translates online, and it's really, really trippy, if that makes sense, how she can manage that. After each of you were able to escape, she who shall not be named, how did your families react, and did they support or help you get back on your feet?
Casey,
Whoever
you
wants
go
to go
first.
first. Yeah, Casey.
Me? Okay. Well, I was still very young, but yeah, my mom helped me, and she felt bad because like Amber was my first like real relationship, like long, like the first long one, the first everything. So like my mom helped me as much as she could, and my poor mom, like she had to pick up a lot of the pieces that was me when Amber left, because it was just a when Amber left, it was just a okay, I'm gonna go.
It's so hard supporting a queer child as is. It's so hard to support and be there for your child when they are not straight. So, on top of that, the first relationship that your child ever gets into is with Amberlynn Reed. It's like, yeah, it was really for Casey's mom, it was really on hard mode from a parental point of view for her.
To be with Crystal now, and within like from the time she told me like we're over, in less than 24 hours she was on a plane going to Crystal. So I was like, even though I knew the
What season was Casey? I consider Casey season 1. There was no footage of Casey. This was prior to Amberlynn launching a YouTube channel, but there is so much known about the relationship between Casey and Amberlynn, and it's been talked about extensively throughout Girl World. So that's why I consider Casey a part of, this series.
relationship was bad at the time, I was devastated because I was a kid. I didn't know and at the time, being in the Rainbow Mafia, if you will, it was hard in the early 2000s because you didn't know who you couldn't. I as a kid, I couldn't tell who would have liked me or not. So I was just like, oh my god, like I don't know how to date anymore.
Right. It made you feel so alone.
Yeah. So that was like, but yeah, my family, my mom was there for me.
I mean, for me, yeah, I had my friends there for me and my family. My sister and my ex-brother-in-law and Eric and Ricky at the time had all come to help me move. And I moved in with some other friends and stayed there for a little while. And then I ended up getting an apartment with another friend. And now I'm living with my fiance. And it's just like, I did get support from my sisters and some of my friends, and not my dad has been there for me, but I mean not in the way that he would help me after the breakup or anything. I don't even think he really knew anything about the breakup. He didn't know anything about what I've been through, and he doesn't know anything at all about this. Oh, wow. So I didn't have the support of a parent or anything like that. I just had my sister.
At least you guys had somebody,
Right.
I know that sounds insane, but I'm glad, because I've always.
It was also very freeing, and I didn't feel like I was held under a thumb anymore.
Oh yeah. That must have felt great.
It was really great. It was scary, but it was great.
Both of you lost considerable amount of weight in a short amount of time, and I'm very proud of both of you. Anyways, sorry, I had to say that. That joke I had to say at least once this stream.
Of course, Nerfy. So I actually also have a question.
Oh, because they broke up with Amber and Amber's 500 pounds. So they lost a lot of weight. That's funny.
Here that somebody asked that I'd like to also elaborate on. The question is, what is the most manipulative thing Amber has done to either one of you? And there's actually one part back that actually we all saw it went live when Amberlynn was sitting in the car and she's like, mental things are scary or whatever. Like that, the part where you got in the car and she was like talking to you, like it was like live manipulation that she like recorded and uploaded to the internet. And so on top of the most manipulative thing Amber's done to you, I was wondering if you could maybe like talk about what led up to that particular situation.
Oh my God. I really can't remember what was going on before that whole thing in the car, but I know that we were at Walmart and she had me in the store. And then whenever I came out, I was so done. I just wanted to get home. I got in the car, the camera was in my face, and I was just shut down at that point. And I knew that she had been crying and was upset. God, I wish I could remember exactly what it was over. But definitely, like, it was full-on manipulation.
Was that like a pattern for her? Like if you guys got into a fight or an argument, it would end with like her crying and apologizing, but
Yeah. Always like,
were her apologies often very much like we both did this thing, or is there ever a time that you can remember where she was like, I was at fault, I shouldn't have done that?
Oh, that's a good question.
no,
Mhm.
usually it was me having to say I was sorry first. Like,
Probably just to shut her up. Okay, yeah, you know what? You're right, Amber. You know what? Yeah, you are. You're right. You're right. Because with some people, it's like there's no winning with them, so it's like why bother? So it's just like okay, like let's move on. Yes, like, I'm sorry. You were so right.
yeah, and I knew that I shouldn't even really be apologizing, but it's just like I knew that was going to be the only way to make her not keep arguing and pushing, is to just be like, okay, I'm sorry. How do we fix this? And then she'd be like, yeah, I'm sorry that I
Yeah, Beck was placating her.
made you feel bad, but she actually never really was sorry because it would just happen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry without change is manipulation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Casey was a part of that
Right.
question too, right, Jade?
Yeah. What about you, Casey?
The most manipulative thing, and it happened like continuously. I have a friend. I'm not shy about saying I have a friend that I had since I was 14, and this friend, like I call her my cousin because she pretty much like took me on. Like I was a freshman and she was a senior, and she pretty much took me under her wing and
That's
taught
so
me
gross.
about what
Nothing. Go ahead.
and taught me about life, and a lot of it. Like I if I didn't like, she helped me get my GED and everything. Like she's my best, one of my best friends. And when Amber was living with me, she had it in her head that I was sleeping with her. No, like God, no, never have, never will, never even saw her that way.
Should I just like make myself bigger so that name doesn't come up? So everyone's like, "Oh my God, is that the Jade? Is that the Jade?" I'll just cover it with my shoulder. All right, problem solved.
That way. And so every time I would go to hang out with her, I would, say, hey, can I go hang out with my friend?
Wait, me when I first saw this, is that the Jade? And now because I know and you don't, you're less than. I asked the same question originally. Ugh, keep up, guys.
And she's like, first she would be like weird about it, and then afterwards she was like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, okay, you're not gonna get weird like you did last time, right? Like you're not gonna be like messaging me and everything like that, being all mad and weird. And she's like, no, I won't. Okay, so I go hang out, and this happened multiple times. I go to hang out with my friend, and then like less than probably like 45 minutes, at least 30 minutes, I get text messages. You need to come home right now, or else I'm gonna get on a bus and leave you. And I know you're sleeping with her.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I know you're sleeping with her. Get home now, or I'll get on a bus and I'll leave. And go where? Your grandma doesn't want to take care of you. Casey's mom is the only one that was taking care. If it weren't for Casey's mom at that point, you would have been on the street, Amber. I'll get on a bus and I'll go somewhere. I mean, really threatening us with a good time.
And yada yada yada, and it was just like constant, so to the point where me and my friend just couldn't hang out anymore. Because one, yeah, I understand, my friend was sick of that, because I would be, in a good mood hanging out, we would be, well, now the restaurant closed down, Chewy's, but we'd be like having nachos and just talking and everything like that. And I was still, a teenager at the time doing all that, just wanting to hang out with friends. And I couldn't, because she would be messaging me, I'm going to leave you if you don't come home right now. You have 3 minutes to get home. You have 5 minutes to get home, or else I'm going to get on a bus. You'll never see me again, blah, 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 blah. And of course I felt bad and like I was doing something wrong. And then one day I come home and I'm like, why do you do that? Like, why do you always do that? She's like, because I don't like her. And it just blew my mind. Like when she literally said that, I was like, what?
I don't like her. I don't like that bitch. I don't like you spending time with anyone but me. Because if you're spending time with other people, they might put thoughts into your head that you shouldn't be with me. And I don't like that. I don't like people having that opportunity. You need to be here. You need to be here with me.
It's like, I don't like her. That's why.
Oh, God.
And what a trip when she came back and was like, oh, but she was in my life. And
Yes, she tried to add her right before, accusing me of what she did. Sorry.
She's getting passionate.
It's understandable. I'm just saying.
Oh, no,
She
it's
tried to-
completely understandable, but you crack out and nobody can understand you.
She tried to add that friend on Facebook, and my friend was just like, hey, why is she trying to add me? And I even messaged her, like, why are you trying to add her? This was right before the video. And she's like, well, because she was an important part of my life. I was like, you hated her. I literally
Yeah, but she still wanted to keep tabs. Keep your enemies close.
told her you hated her. You guys were oil and water. You despised her, and she don't like you either. And she told me in a message that that I'm making it up. That's not what happened.
Yeah, that's what she does.
And I'm like,
that never happened. Oh, Amberlynn loves to play that card. Loves to play that card. Remember the Mountain Dew? Remember when she threw a Mountain Dew bottle at Destiny's head and then we called her out on it and she said, that just never happened. That you guys are making that up. That event that you were saying happened, that doesn't exist. Oh, she loves to play that card.
in my head, I'm like, oh no, like you are being delusional because I remember all those fights. Even my friend remembers that. So it's like no.
Right. Like, I mean, I don't like to keep bringing up the boys, but like her and Ricky were like oil and water and they did not get along at all. So like whenever they stayed friends after, I was just like, why though? And then they told me, well, because she's changing. And I'm like, no, she's not. And then they finally saw for themselves, which I don't know, that I heard, rumors that they became friends with her again. I'm not sure exactly what happened with all that. But anyway, like she just, like, she absolutely would hate these people. And then like whenever she and her ex splits up, she still tries to stay in these other people's lives that she supposedly hated.
Do you ever feel like she tried to stay friends with your guys' friends to keep tabs on you? Like, honestly?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because like hanging out with them, they could go, hey, how's Beck doing? Are they doing good? Just in casual conversation. Because that's the feeling that I always got anytime like she'd mention like
those boys must not be very smart. Because if they all lived together and they knew how toxic Amberlynn was, the fact that they hung out with her after season 4 had concluded, the fact that they continued to hang out with her, they're like, no, she's changed. She's actually chill now. Like, you guys are, one, not very smart, and two, you have a short memory span.
Eric and Ricky, like Casey, you were more off camera than anybody, but yeah. With Eric and Ricky, anytime she'd mention like talking to Eric and Ricky, I'm like, yeah, you're checking in on Beck. Got it. Understood. Like, moving on, you fucking weirdo. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that's weird. Just so you know, weird. You're a weird human.
Yeah.
Well, it's stalkerish behavior. And I've always said if Amberlynn was a different body size, she very well could be dangerous.
Physically dangerous, yeah.
I definitely know that she would be, because she always would tell me if I was my actual weight, I would be in California and I wouldn't be talking to any of you guys. And I would never talk to anybody my size.
Were you together at this time?
Yeah. And I was like, so
Whoa,
basically it would be
if I weren't 500 pounds, I'd be a skinny mini in LA living it up. But instead, I'm here with you bum fucking hillbillies in Kentucky at 500 pounds. Oh, if I wasn't a quarter ton, I oughta. Really, Amber? You'd be out in LA. Yeah, walking catwalks. Being the next hot thing in Los Angeles. Okay. I'd be in California. I'd be living it up. Oh, but instead I'm here on this fucking couch yelling at you about Cocoa Puffs. God damn, how did I get here? If I weren't 500 pounds, but you are, Blanche. But you are 500 pounds.
piece of garbage. And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, so you'd be shallow? And she's like, yeah.
That is a lot
Well,
to say to
the
you.
mask was
You're
off
like,
in that
How do you move on with like a relationship after someone says something like that? I wouldn't be friends with any of you. The only reason I'm friends with you guys is because I'm 500 pounds and undesirable by other people. If I was skinny, hot, not 500 pounds, and in California, do you think that I would associate with people like you? Like, how do you continue any sort of relationship with someone like that after they say something to that extent?
That is a lot to say to
So it just,
somebody you're dating.
yeah, it just came down to looks.
Like,
And I was like, so that's really what she does think about me deep down. Like deep down, I knew that she wasn't into me, but like deep down, I honestly wasn't into her anymore either because it's like I was her caretaker. So it's like all of that, all those feelings were gone and out the window very quickly.
yeah, it became the relationship probably quickly changed from being
Yeah.
that actually brings in another question that somebody had, and I think it's a brilliant question. It's for both of you, and that question is, what was the moment?
She sees herself as the hot friend. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. When she was living with Eric, Ricky, and Beck, she absolutely thought that she was at the top of the food chain. She was like the hot bitch of the house. Yeah, everyone else was beneath her. The only reason they were beneath you, Amber, is because they were wiping you. Let's get that very clear.
That you guys realized those feelings were gone for her, like just completely gone. And did you guys act on it then, or were you guys stuck in it for a little while after?
That's a great question.
And you guys can pick who goes first. Fight for
Beck,
it. We
Beck
want to
can
see.
go first.
We
Beck
want
goes
to see.
first.
Oh, nobody fought. That's sad.
Oh, well, honestly, like all romantic feelings, it took a really long time for them to fully develop in the first place. Like I liked her. She kind of pushed me into the relationship, because I wasn't exactly there, but she was like, well, I've got people in mind that date me. And I'm like, well, I don't want to lose you yet. So I guess we'll start dating. So then after that, it took me.
Oh my God. That's like when you you know what that is? You know what that is right there? That's like creating a false sense of urgency. Have you guys ever called a car dealership inquiring about a car and they say, well, yeah, but we got people looking at it. We got somebody coming in later today to test drive it. If you want this car, you're going to have to get down here quick. You're going to have to come now. I remember I've bought used cars in the past in the car dealership. They try to play that little game with you. Like, oh, yep, somebody's really interested in this vehicle. I'm thinking they're going to come down here probably within the next day or two and they're going to pay in cash. Yeah, Amberlynn was trying to play that false sense of urgency game with Beck. Yep, I got tons of girls. Charmin ready. Gloves ready. They're ready to take care of me. I got a lot of people lined up. If you want to get up in all this, you're going to have to commit. You're going to have to commit soon. Because I got suitors. Oh, yeah. I got suitors. Definitely.
A while to come around and get lovey-dovey and get close because I had my guard up anyway from past experiences. And then just like when I thought I was going to lose her, she just barreled right through, pushed me into the relationship. So my feelings came later. But then once I started having to constantly do everything by myself is whenever my feelings just sort of left. And I just felt like I was taking care of a friend.
Jeez.
Oof. Just oof.
God.
Okay. What about you, Casey? When did you realize?
My boyfriend is a car salesman. Ask him if they do that. I swear, all used car salesmen do that. I swear. Yeah, we got somebody that's wanting to buy it. They're gonna buy it real quick. You better get down here. It's just like if I ever hear that on the phone, it's like, oh, okay, they can have it. And then they call you back and they're like, well, wait, they're not interested anymore. Do you still want it? It's annoying. Sassy Soup, thank you. I can reserve a parking spot with Amberlynn's underpants. Thank you, Sassy. Danielle Nicole, thank you for 5 months. It's the first day of Lent and I'm starving. Been watching your streams all day and now you're live. It must be fate. It must be fate, Danielle. Thank you for being here. Happy first day of Lent to everybody giving something up. Good luck to you. Bibliophile, thank you. Hello. Glad you are here this evening. Sir Dance a Latte, thank you for 5 months. I build computer keyboards for fun, which has been easily a few $100s of the year. Can't imagine building and spending and perfecting just to throw them out like an Eggpert Lego. Yeah, really. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't really have an interest in Legos, but if I did, shit, all the time and effort that goes into that on top of how expensive they are just to get rid of them? No. Sunny, thank you so much for becoming a member. Hidden your mom joke. Thank you. I have something to add to the list. I did when I was fat. When people let animals rest on a part of their body instead of holding them. It's feeling spicy tonight. like a lap dog, but it could be like a love handle dog, or maybe like a stomach dog, or I don't know. I guess maybe like if you have like a shelf, your dog could hang out on there too. Yeah, I mean, shit. Fat privilege, right?
Realize that romantically, it was dead. It was gone.
It was when the incident happened with Crystal and the iPod Touch, when she got mad at her over the memory size and made Crystal cry. And I told her to apologize to her. And I realized then that, one, I knew it was going to end, and I knew I wasn't having these feelings anymore. I was like, looking back on it now that I'm older, I knew that I was just scared to be alone, because I didn't know how to date. I was a kid. And two, because if she is making someone cry and being that vile over the memory size of an iPod Touch, that's crazy. Like, that is crazy. Like, no one should be like that. It could have been a simple, like, because Crystal asked a simple question: what memory size do you want? And back then, like, iPod Touches were expensive,
Yeah.
And so, like, it was just a simple question: what?
I wanted the 64 gig, you fucking bitch! I hate you! Amberlynn Reed, everybody.
What memory size do you want? And she just got mad at her, and like, she's just like, you asking me that is like me asking, if you want a purse or not. It's not, that sounds ridiculous. And she just went in on her, and she told me, oh, Crystal's crying because of this, and she told me what happened, thinking that I'd be on her side. And I looked at her and I was like, you need a
Amberlynn told Casey that story, thinking that Casey would be on her side. Can you believe her? Can you believe this bitch? She wanted to get me the 32 gig. I'm Amberlynn Reed. If I were in California right now, I'd have the 256 gig. If I was a skinny mini in Los Angeles right now, I'd be walking around with a 256 gig iPod Touch. But instead, I'm fucking here in Crystal's goddamn room with her parents with a 32 gig iPod Touch. Can you believe this bitch? Like, you really thought Casey would be on your side hearing that story? Amberlynn, living with someone else's parents, being a bitch about getting an iPod Touch as a gift. I mean, how unaware do you have to be?
apologize to her. That was a simple question. She's crying. It's like, you could have just said, yes, I want the bigger memory size. Granted, you should be grateful that she got you one at all, but
Right.
Was it kind of a trip that, like, that whole situation?
Yeah, really. I mean, at that point, Amberlynn was what, 23? Broke as a joke, living off of someone else's parents. Acting like a little brat, throwing a temper tantrum about the size of an iPod gig space.
Situation happened and you were still dating her, but she's like having this weird thing with another girl.
Yep.
Right. Why wasn't she buying you one?
Really quick, I have to intervene because I know. Okay, the ambivert.
Oh, she was still living with Casey at the time, so they weren't even together yet. So like they were just like friends at that point. Why does that detail make it all that much worse?
Yes, I'm pretty fluent in it. Both of you have a story to where financial stuff is involved, and it's similar to a lesser extent, if that makes sense.
That's like her not being with Destiny, texting her, "You're cold, you're calculated, what happened to you? I used to know you, I used to know the real you. Now look at you."
Like it's because Casey, you have the story about your birthday money, and then Beck has a story about the inheritance.
Oh, those two, yeah.
That's exactly, yeah. And if you guys want to tell it, you guys are more than welcome to. But I'm just saying, like, her buying something for her girlfriend when she's not trying to control them is laughable.
Right.
Right.
Or they're not Destiny. Sorry.
That as well, yeah.
Yeah, that as well, definitely that. But if you guys want to tell those stories, that's completely up to you guys. But yeah, I was thinking about it last night, or no, it was the other night after I watched. I reacted to yours, and I started crying on stream because it's just like a hit to the gut.
Yeah.
And because to me, it's the timeline. Anyways, it's just awful. So it's incredibly similar. They're incredibly similar stories.
Yeah, I mean, with me, it was just my mom was supposed to get this money from my dad's work because it was a stock that had built up over the years and it got released. So it got split up between me and my sisters. And whenever I got it, I was like thinking, I can put this back for, anything. And Amber was like, no, we need to use it for bills and stuff. And she was just like, honestly, I've paid for everything up to this point. So you kind of owe it.
Oh,
So-
hell no.
But then she also said on live,
You know how much a caregiver is per year? You know how much like a personal live-in 24/7 caregiver is per year? Because really, that's what Beck had been functioning as for years at that point. Oh, well, I've been paying for everything at this point, so now it's your time to contribute. I don't know. That's like... it's you really just don't get it. How much has gone into it. Or no, she does. She just doesn't care. That was just her excuse to take it.
which I was wanting to talk about this at some point anyway, but her live last night, she was just like,
I mean, really, ask yourself that question, you guys. How much would it take you to wipe someone else's ass? Ask yourself that. Now ask yourself, how much would you work? How much would it, how much would your desired salary be to wipe someone's ass every day?
we bought the bed. No, we bought the bed before I got the settlement. We bought the bed before my mom passed away. So we didn't get the bed from that money.
Oh, I love that.
And
Sorry.
then she was, no, you're good. And then she's like, well, then we also took a trip to Gatlinburg. I talked to my sister this morning and asked how much we all put in for the cabin. And she said it was like 160 something.
I mean, and it doesn't even stop there. That's just one example of having to wipe someone. I mean, on top of that, you're having to put up with the manipulation and the high maintenance lifestyle that is Amberlynn.
And then all we did was we went and ate at Paula Deen's. We went to a Christmas store. And then we went to Walmart and sat in the cabin for the rest of the time while my family went and did other things.
Oh, what?
Yeah. But
Sounds
we
to me like-
just had to go to Walmart.
Yeah, it sounds to me like Amberlynn owes you $5,000-$6,000 at minimum.
I get paid $13.50 to do it every day. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. You know what other profession is severely underpaid, like super underpaid? Daycare employees. I mean, do you know how much these parents are paying in daycare? I mean, like I've had girlfriends that have worked at daycare places, and like when they tell me, I mean, back when we were teenagers, I remember one girl I was close with, she worked at a daycare place and she was getting like, I mean, granted, this was 10 years ago, but I mean, she was getting minimum wage, and minimum wage in Pennsylvania is like $7.25 or something like that. $7.25. Meanwhile, these parents are paying out the ass. It's like, who does all that money go to? I mean, daycare people are really underpaid too. Teachers. I mean, honestly, it's not really a joke, but like it's like a running joke. Like I remember being in K through 12 and like teachers being like, I don't do this because I get paid the big bucks. I do this because I care about you guys. I do this because I care about your future. Like I swear, like they would all say that. Like it was a running joke that they didn't get paid enough. I want 572.4 per wipe. Wiping somebody's ass for $572.40.
tack on another 20,000 for pain and suffering.
Plus all of the like videos.
Only
I'm like,
20. Only
some of her, yeah, right. Only because some
20,000?
of her videos, like some of her best videos, are the ones with you in them back, like the most views and stuff.
Yeah, that was
Minimum. I mean, I've quoted the number. I mean, so if we're tagging on the inheritance too, I think for all that Amber, well, I was about to say YouTube alone, just like being a part of their vlogs, helping create content, doing the live streams, in terms of like Beck receiving YouTube pay, not caregiver pay, just YouTube pay. I think it should be like around $50,000. That's like my ballpark estimate of like what Beck should be paid, $50,000. It's probably higher than that in all honesty, but with the caretaker and how much Amberlynn should have paid Beck for all those years, easily 6 figures that Amberlynn morally owes Beck.
something else. She always told me that stuff with me and it got less views. So that's why she had me stop being in them for a little while.
I think
the
she had
hell?
you stop being in them because people liked
Like,
you
yeah.
and didn't like her.
Yeah.
That's the read I got.
And it's like, I didn't watch the videos back or anything. I didn't watch anything she ever posted. So I had no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
trip.
It's really funny because I also watched the live last night, and something that she brought up was, back in the day, if you watch, this video, I was reacting to Zachary Michael, and reaction channels hated Beck, and sorry, they hated them. And
I did see in a clip on Twitter that in Amber's members only live stream last night, she took a point to say, well, reaction channels were terrible to Beck. Back when Beck was around and in my videos and stuff, you should have seen the things that Zachary Michael said about Beck. I mean, just absolutely atrocious. You guys are giving me shit for abusing Beck. Zachary Michael was abusive to Beck. Zachary Michael was abusive to Beck. Is that really what we're trying to do here? Well, you know what Zachary Michael didn't do, Amber? Zachary Michael never had Beck wipe them. Zachary Michael never stole Beck's inheritance. Zachary Michael never made Beck drive to Walmart and get fast food while they were in renal failure. Zachary Michael, I don't know, may have had some not so nice things to say about Beck back then, but making a little shitty comment in a YouTube video pales in comparison to what you put Beck through in real life.
it's like, actually, we didn't know what was happening. We had no idea. We were hypercritical of Beck. I will give you that. I wasn't a reaction channel back then, but the reaction channels.
Yeah, Zachary Michael never made Beck wipe off choker cheese or brush out matted hair or clean out a litter box that was so full of shit it was overflowing. I mean, the list goes on. But yeah, no, Zachary Michael's the one that's at fault here. You guys are giving me crap for being rude to Beck. What about him?
were hypercritical, but they had no idea what was happening behind the scenes.
Pizza, thank you. I'm usually replay gang loving here. Thank you so much for being here, Pizza. Laura Case, hi. It was my birthday on Monday, finally 20, my 5-year anniversary of watching Amber. Here's to 5 more years. Happy birthday to you, Laura. That is awesome. 5 years of Amber. Oh my gosh. Juniper, thank you for 14 months. You're the first one. Oh my goodness. Juniper is a 14-month resubscriber. Thank you. Not even traveling right now, according to Chantal. I'll probably fall back asleep. Catch you later. All right, Juniper, thank you so much. Must be cool enough. Thank you so much for your Prime subscription. Hello.
We only saw what they wanted us to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
That's what Amber was putting out there.
exactly, we only saw, like, she likes to say, like, you have no idea what was happening, but it's like, well, we saw what you put out there, and what you put out there, it looked like Beck was struggling, but we didn't know if it was because of mental health or what was going on. But nobody actually hated Beck themselves. We just disliked you, and they got the backlash. They were in the vicinity, and then when we found out what happened, yes, we switched sides, because that's what you do when, like, you find out what was actually happening.
Kind of like collateral damage.
You go with the victim and go, wow, that was fucking shitty. Like, let's not pile on this person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
the entire live stream was inherited, like it was just manipulative. Casey, you had the birthday money story that is incredibly similar to the inheritance story.
So yeah, when I was younger, when my nana was still around, she would give me birthday money, right? And one year, this is when Birth by Sleep and Crisis Core came out, and no, not Birth by Sleep, it was Crisis Core and Kingdom Hearts game 365 Days Over 2, weird title, and I wanted to get both of them. I had the money to get both of them. I was so excited because I'm just like, yes, these 2 new games. I'm a big gamer nerd, anime nerd, whatnot, and we go to Best Buy, and I grab the 2 games, and I'm like, yes. I'm happy. I'm excited because this is gonna be awesome. And I just turned 17, by the way. This was my 17th.
Okay, so for Casey's 17th birthday, he got, what was it, like $100? So he had $100 of birthday money. $100 to a 16 or 17-year-old, especially if you don't have a part-time job, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So Casey, real excited with their $100 that they got from their birthday money. Amberlynn at this point is like, what, 20?
Birthday. And I go to pay for them, and she gets a little attitude. And I'm like, well, what's wrong? And she was getting mad that I was getting both games. And God, she's just like, if you get both those games, I'm going to be so mad at you. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, I couldn't understand. Like, I was just like, but I really want to get these 2 games. Like, and it's my birthday money. And I'm thinking, like, did I offend her? Did I not offer her something? And so I ended up getting 1 game.
That's our birthday money. That's not your birthday money. That's our birthday money. You can get 1 game, I guess. I guess you can get 1 game, whatever. But I should be entitled to that other $50. That $50 of your birthday money, that should be mine. That muted. I'll kick your ass, Dandelion. Lost my train of thought. Birthday money.
Game. And I was so sad. But I ended up getting 1 game, and I was like, what do you like, why are you mad at me over it? I don't understand. And I didn't understand. Like, but it was now that I'm older, I was like, okay, she wanted me to use that money on her. She was mad because she wasn't getting anything out of it.
That sounds about right. That sounds like her. She wasn't getting anything out of it, so she was upset because it wasn't focused on her.
Yep. Me. Someone else's birthday. Okay, well, you know what? There's a scene in South Park where Cartman goes to a birthday party, and it's someone else. It's like Kyle or Stan's birthday. And whenever Kyle or Stan opens up a present, Cartman gets a present too. And they're like, well, why is Cartman opening presents? It's Stan's birthday. And Cartman's mom intervenes and says, oh, well, Cartman doesn't want to feel left out. Cartman still wants to feel like he's like center of attention. This is exactly what this is. So if you get birthday money, that means I get birthday money. Because the world revolves around me.
Yeah.
Yep. And a bunch of people in the chat wanted me to mention, the age he was 17.
Yeah, that was my 17th birthday.
Because you guys met when you were like 16, didn't you?
I was 15.
You were 15.
Yeah.
He was 15 years old. So just, everybody was pointing that out. Go ahead, Jen.
I'm just.
This is quite literally how it went down. This is how it went down.
Yay! All right, now come on, open presents! Open presents! Where's mine? Where's mine?
Here you go, sweetie.
Yay! Wait, it's Stan's birthday.
Yes, every time somebody gets a birthday present, Eric gets one too. Otherwise, he gets a little upset.
What I get? Oh, cool, Legos. Thanks, Butters. I know how you like Legos. Happy birthday! Oh, cool, I got a racing game for Xbox. You guys see that? Cool, huh? Stan's getting another present, Mom.
Here you are, Muffin.
Yay!
Life imitates art. I know. And she looks like Cartman too. I know. That's my chicken pot pie, ma'am. Now, kitty. Casey got an Xbox game. What do I get?
It's so bizarre.
Well, it is bizarre because it really is just a point of pure greed. Because at the time that she took your money back, she was making plenty of money. There was really no need for it. Or am I wrong on that?
No, she was making a lot of money. A lot of money. Like, I didn't even really know how much she...
It was like, I think it was disclosed once that in December of 2020, Amberlynn made $32,000 in 1 month. Back in the heyday, season 4 especially, you go back, you take a look at views, that's when Amberlynn's channel was at its pinnacle. Season 4 is when she was really making her money. Beck's season.
She had. All I know is that at one point in 1 month, she had made like 20,000.
God,
Jesus.
That's insane.
And couldn't okay.
And still couldn't let you keep your
right.
inheritance.
Oh my!
Because I owed it to her.
You
That's
owed it to her.
insanity.
Mhm.
That is
Oh,
unhinged.
that hurts my heart. Oh my god.
I didn't realize. Like, I knew she was making pretty good money, but that much? God dang.
I mean, she's not now.
No.
she's not making anything now.
No. I mean, guys, that's why she's doing Cameo. That's why she's doing members only. That's why she's doing the live streams. That's why she's actually sticking to an every other uploading schedule. If Amberlynn could upload once a week, or maybe like once every 10 days, she would, but she can't afford to anymore. Those gravy train days have come and gone. She needs to be uploading more regularly.
Yeah, no, there was at one point she was making a lot of money, and I had no idea how either.
She didn't tell you, huh?
No.
Oh my God.
Like, I've been finding out so many things lately that I did not know about. I'm so excited. So excited. Like, it's just so shocking. Things I had no idea. Like, things that Casey's saying right now, I had no idea. I didn't know about the 17th birthday story.
It all really matches up. The behavior kind of fits together like puzzle pieces, man.
It really does. And this is also why we wanted to do this, is bring you guys together so you guys can talk about things that you might not know and trauma bond. Once again, trauma bond and realize you're not alone. I'm going to keep calling it that. That's what it is.
Right.
It is what it is.
I do have an interesting question here for you, Beck, that I've pulled up. It says, Beck, did you ever leave subtle hints that Amber couldn't catch or try to warn the audience that Amber is lying about something in her live streams?
No, I knew that there was nothing I could do because she would catch it. She was very, very hyper aware of me and what I would or wouldn't be able to say on live streams until I...
Oh my God, do you know what this sounds like? So basically the question was there anything that you did in live streams that could have suggested that things weren't okay or that you needed help? Basically like a distress signal. Oh my gosh. Have you ever seen in movies like where someone is being held captive or like they were kidnapped or someone or something, but then like they're allowed in a social setting, they're allowed in public or something, and like they'll run off screen real quick and they'll like get a napkin and write down on like a napkin like please help me or something and then slip it to somebody that walks by? Like that's what this sounds like. Yeah, blinking in Morse code. This is what this sounds like. Yeah, like please help me.
Until we got toward the end, whenever I started getting sassy and stuff, I didn't care then. But like,
that was awesome, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
I distinctly remember that era because all of the reaction channels like, yes, Beck, get her. It's like,
I was really at my limit, and I was still keeping myself pretty under control at that point. But like,
so would she like control things that you said? Like how, and if she did, like how often did that happen?
It happened all the time, especially if we were like vlogging or doing like a sit down video. Like there was a lot of pausing and being like, okay, so don't say this. You can say this, you know. And then there would be other times where she's just like, why don't you try to say it more peppy? Why can't you act like you're actually having a good time? And it's like, because I told you over and over, time and time again, I just really don't want to do these things. And she's like, okay, yeah, but you're my employee. So
what?
You're going to be in these videos.
God.
So whenever you see me vlogging, I never wanted to do that. She would be like,
Oh my God, you're my employee. Better straighten up and fly right back. Cat calls, thank you. As a survivor of DV that also had their inheritance taken, it is so cathartic to watch Beck expose Amber. Thanks for balancing serious issues with humor and love to the chat. Wheelchair heart hands, bestie. Cat calls, this super chat breaks my heart. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my gosh. But like I always say, how many people get the opportunity to do what Beck and Casey are doing right now? I mean, to come on here on a monetized platform and talk about all the shit that they have went through, expose that person for who they are, and make a buck while doing it. Thank you, Cat Calls. I hope you have a good rest of your week, hon. Frail Lauren, thank you for 8 months. This is literally so hectic, Blanche. My mind is blown. It's dangling. I'm gonna have to rewatch that movie sometime soon. Thank you, Lauren. Potato Head, hey. The only thing hot about her is her box, apparently. Okay. Vulgar. Thank you. Lauren, thank you again. And that's something I'll never understand. How Amber and Chantal have the off-the-chart confidence and think that they're the hottest shit. Delusion. Convince yourself.
Yet you are.
I do have to compliment. And I think Jade will join in with me on this. I have to compliment both of you on your grace and your lack of like your self-restraint. I don't have that. The amount of pettiness that I have in my soul just for you two, especially like Casey, I've known you a long time. You're my best friend, and you, Beck, just because. Yeah, dear God, I could not imagine it actually happening to me because the lack of self-control I would have. Like I'm a petty individual. Sorry. Like right now, I'm just sitting here thinking I could get into her YouTube account. Give me 15 minutes just because of what she's done to you guys. Let alone if it was me. So I have to compliment you guys on your self-control. I really do because.
Oh, yeah, agreed. Mad respect to both of you for handling it so well. Like
employees get freaking paid. Employees get paid. Did you like? She didn't pay you.
Good point. So Amberlynn needs.
Well, Beck did get paid. Beck got paid in the pleasure of knowing that they got to be in the presence of Amberlynn. They got to be Amberlynn's partner. That's payment in enough, right?
Needs to, get that paycheck over your way.
Back pay.
Let's go. Chop, chop. TikTok.
It'd be nice.
It'd be nice. Honestly, I wouldn't hold your breath, but
I don't.
Nice. Yeah, she's an incredibly
for real.
That would be her having to take any sort of accountability and admitting fault.
True.
God forbid.
Well, and that actually brings us to something that she said in her live stream that you guys had a brief conversation about behind the scenes, just to make sure that it was okay to talk about, in front of, oh my God, 4,000 people. And that is the Casey allegations. She did talk to you, Beck, and she talked to you about it. And in her live yesterday, she had commented, she had started crying and saying, I can't believe Beck would do this. They know what he did and things like that. So yeah, I would love to hear that story and have you and Casey talk about that a bit and clear that air just a little bit because it stinks.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, whenever all of this first came out, me knowing her was very new. It was literally within like the first month or so.
And this happens in every relationship. As soon as Amber gets in a new relationship, the one that came immediately prior completely shit all over them. Oh, they were the worst partner ever. They were lazy. They were awful to me. They were toxic. They did this. They did that. Because she did that to Beck when Beck broke up with her. Immediately started shoving all this false information down Jade's throat about Beck. It's every relationship that she gets into. The girlfriend immediately prior, they just get shit on by Amber.
Of talking to her, that the whole Casey thing had happened. Actually, I think her telling her story online came out before I even sent her a message. I had no idea about this. And whenever she actually came forward and told me about what was happening, she told me that he, you know, rape, you know, rape and pedal eavesdrop.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I used the wrong word. And she's like, you know, I actually meant molested.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just
Jesus.
like, okay. And she said, you know, well, he would hit me if I didn't, if I didn't do what he wanted me to do.
Amberlynn, you know how you like to come on here and you like to say slander and you like to say defamation and you like to say shit about lawyers? This is actual evidence of something that could be taken to court. Not me coming on here and calling you a fat bitch. We're not going to go to court over that. Shit like this, when you accuse someone of doing something like this, baby, that's when you get yourself into trouble.
Oh my God. That's.
And it's like she also, during that entire time, just kept dead naming and refusing to use your pronouns. Like she was just, like, even after she already knew.
And we knew that Amberlynn did that with Beck. Refused to adopt the new pronouns.
She was like, well, that's because it doesn't matter to me, and I didn't know him that way.
Yes,
And
she
I'm like,
did.
that doesn't matter. She did. She knew you were trans. Like when.
Okay, let me tell you real quick before you finish that. When
Right.
when I was with her, and you know, I kind of like put it around being trans because I didn't understand it when I was 12, because I saw, you know, Boys Don't Cry, and it just opened my eyes like, oh wait, I can, that's a thing. And so my thing was, when I was with people before I like really have transitioned, was to show them that movie and go, that's how I feel. That's the only way I was able to kind of like describe it. Like I had to show them, right? Ooh, I hit my mic. Oops. And when I told her about it, she didn't like it. And I was like, okay, well, and because I didn't really understand it either. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I don't know. Like, so I was like, okay, you know, she knew because I said something. I didn't know the word trans, but I was like, this is how I feel. And then one day, you know, because I wanted kids for a very long time. And I told her, I don't want to be called mom or anything like that. If I have kids, I want to be called papa. And she looked at me and said, you will never be a father.
Oh,
because
God, that story hits everything.
And I was like, what? Like, and I was so upset because it's like, that's how I would want to be referred. I could, like, you know, papa or whatever, but like, it's like, what the hell? But I did mention it.
Looking at a trans man and saying, you will never be a father. Well, you know what, Amberlynn? You will never know love. You will never know less than 500 pounds. You will never know what it's like to not wake up in the morning in pain. You will never know what it's like to not be conscious, not be constantly anxious about whether or not this is your last day on earth or not. Those are things that will never happen for you.
I didn't say I was trans. I showed the video. I didn't know what trans was back then. I was 15, 16 years old when I showed her that. So it was like, she had an inkling. She knew that's how I was feeling inside.
Yeah. That is so heartbreaking. I can't believe actually I can believe, honestly. Like,
sorry, just the way you shifted so fast. I can't. Okay, yeah, I can totally believe that. That's actually right up her alley.
Yeah.
You can't believe.
You will never know what it's like to sit on a couch and not have to worry about whether it breaks or not. You will never know what it's like to sit in the driver's seat of a car and not have your stomach flood over the steering wheel. You will never know what true friendship is.
I believe like any normal person would have like that mind-blowing of a like thought process, but you know, when you like narrow it down to just Amberlynn, yeah, definitely believable.
Yeah.
So it sounded to me that she almost kind of made you like she was trying to make you feel bad about it.
Yeah,
like,
but at that
I don't
time,
like that. You know?
I had others who were like, I want to be with a girl, not a guy, and so I'll leave you if you are. Which now that I'm older, it's like that's fine, that's her preference. So I don't blame them for that at all. Like,
but you don't have to be that way.
Yeah, you don't have to state it that way. But like, as I'm now older, I'm like, okay, if I was like saying I was lesbian and then suddenly I'm like, hey, you know, this is how I feel inside. You know, this is what I want to be. It's like, oh, I don't want to be with the guy. Okay, that's fine. We break up amicably. That's the word that I can't say. And but like her, I don't like, and I don't like in like I said in the early 2000s, that was like I didn't even know what the word was. I just knew, and like I felt the way that character felt. but she knew. Like that the whole story of that is she had an inkling already. I already had mentioned it long ago.
Yeah, and if I'm not wrong, I think there is another clip of her, maybe when she was with Destiny, when she worked at a nursing home, of her talking about dating you. And
You'll never know what it's like to shit in an actual toilet and I'll have to waffle stomp it in your shower. Grace Alice, thank you for your Prime subscription. Hello. Rice Noodles, thank you. Hi, Jordies and Shorties. For Lint, I'm giving up on Amber. Oh my god, Lint! Should we have our own version of Lent and call it Lint, where we all give up something? Lint. Oh, Rice Noodles, you might be onto something. Lint. Oh my god, that's too funny. Jehovah's Thickness, thank you so much. For the pretzel, not you. I will make sure that that gets to Priscilla. Camco, thank you. Jordy having the 2-liter bottle of Code Red on standby has me rolling. I have a whole lot of things on standby. You would be surprised what I have within arm's reach. Honestly, name it and I'll pull it out. Prison Becky, thank you. Fat Hall of Fame, food ain't dinner because you didn't like it. Oh my gosh. You ever seen that video of that person that goes out to eat and they eat the whole dinner and they're like, well, I didn't like it, so I don't want to pay for it.
and talking about how you were, becoming more yourself, and she was making fun of it. And I was just like, this is disgusting.
I saw that clip.
It's actually really funny to watch. If anybody actually I've been around since Crystal era because I'm a loser and I have no life. I'm chronically online. But if you actually watch like the timeline, she makes fun of Casey quite a bit. He's, he is referred to she and by his dead name until the accusations come out. And then it's not mentioned unless she's addressing it. And then it's never mentioned again. It's quite fascinating to watch the pattern.
It is.
Yeah.
Sorry,
really
you
likes
two
to
go
ignore
ahead.
things.
Yeah, she does. She loves to. If you ignore it, it goes away. That's how
Yeah, right.
being an adult works.
If I
Right.
put my head under the blanket, all of the monsters that I put out into the world can't come back to get me.
Exactly. If it isn't the consequences of my own actions. Anyways,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I interrupted you. Go ahead, Beck. I'm sorry. I interrupted that whole everything you were saying.
Oh, shoot. I don't even remember what we were saying. What were we saying?
You guys were talking about the Rain and Petals eavesdrop story, what you heard, and how it all went down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, of course, in that moment, I would believe her because I didn't know Casey. I barely knew her. But then over the years, and then especially after we broke up, left her, I realized what an awful, terrible person she was, and the things that she is capable of doing, and the things that she, has done to the people, not only just me, but the people I know. And I'm like, she definitely did that to him.
At what point, sorry to just jump in with a rando question, but once you and her, once you left her, at what point did the fog start to lift and you really started seeing things very clearly?
After I left, we kept in contact for if I needed to come get mail or get a package, something like that. And she was also friends with Eric and Ricky, so I would see her in passing there. But I also started coming across tea channels and videos of Amber being mean to Beck for 20 minutes straight. And I would watch these things, and I would watch these react channels that I was not allowed to watch while I was with her. And these things started opening.
You're not allowed to watch reaction channels. What I would do for footage of Amberlynn sitting in front of a laptop while a reaction channel talks and she just grips her fists in pure frustration.
My eyes, and I was just like, oh my God, how I was right here. And I realized I was disassociating through 90% of it.
I'm so
That's
sorry
why-
to interrupt you, but
No,
did
you're
you
good.
just say you weren't allowed to watch the reaction channels?
Right?
Yeah, no.
That was my
I'm sorry, that
moment.
caught my attention and it grabbed me. You weren't allowed to watch them?
No.
Oh hell
Oh
no!
my God.
Oh.
So she made sure that you did not watch Zachary Michael or any of them.
Right. Yeah, no. Whenever she would watch it, she would just watch it by herself on her laptop. She wouldn't have me watch or anything. No, she didn't.
She didn't want Beck watching the reaction channels because she didn't want Beck listening to the points that reaction channels make, getting those ideas into Beck's head, and then Beck making decisions based on what an outside point of view says. That's exactly it. She didn't want Beck listening to that because reaction channels actually make good points and they call this shit out. So she wanted to keep Beck away from that as best she could.
Did you ever try?
I knew if I would try, she would know because she kept tabs on my phone all the time.
Oh my God, the control. Oh my God.
So
That's
if you tried, okay,
unhinged.
hold on, wait. Okay,
keep
I'm
saying
speechless.
unhinged,
Okay, the unhinged is an understatement. We're not allowed to say what we really want to say. This is like different.
The
okay,
amount of words
so
that want to come out of my mouth right now.
right. So she would monitor your phone, so you could not watch any kind of reaction channel because she would see it because she'd go into like your YouTube and she'd monitor
yeah.
your text messages and stuff.
Oh yeah, she would go through everything.
Oh my God,
She knew
I
everything.
can't.
God damn.
And I couldn't go
That-
through none of her stuff
Of
because
course.
she said she had private stuff on there in her private journal that she wrote in every day. And I was never allowed to see what was in that journal. Never. And she kept it for
Oh,
years.
my.
So it's
She
a rule
probably
for
still
me
keeps
and
it.
not for me.
I'm allowed to go through all of your stuff. I mean, like, imagine the type of psychopath that you have to be to want to monitor someone's YouTube history, to look through, like, all of some. If I ever feel the need that I have to go through your phone and look at text messages, that probably just tells me that we need to have a serious conversation or we should probably just go our separate ways. If you ever feel the need that you have to go through someone's phone, that's not good. That's not good. So the fact that Amberlynn was doing it every single day, she didn't want a partner. She wanted a slave. She wanted someone that she could control.
It was
Yeah.
a rule for the oh my
Well,
the
that
flappers
seems to be
had
the
been
theme
gassed.
of the whole
Yes.
relationship. Yeah,
That is
was-
actually I don't know why that jumped at me so hard, but it jumped out that you weren't
It-
allowed to do it.
Yeah, that was. Oh my God. Beck, I am so sorry. Like,
That is
you have
awful.
no idea. Like, oh my God, I am so sorry that you had to endure that. Like,
Right?
Jesus.
Her acting was sublime through parts of Beck era because it didn't seem that bad. That's why I think a lot of reaction channels were like critical.
That's probably why she and Jade, or sorry, not Jade. That's probably why she and Emily fought so much, because Emily was always on those weird websites and she probably tried going through Emily's stuff. What is FetLife.com? What is this thing? Les Eat on Phoebe? Can you explain this? Like, what website is this? Are you? Emily had so many different accounts on so many different weird websites, and it probably like was so nerve-wracking to Amber knowing that Emily was doing stuff behind her back.
Because they didn't know what was going on. They were, critical, but they didn't hate you, but they hated her. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Amberlynn definitely spied on Emily. I mean, that's also why I feel like she wanted to be on FaceTime with Emily all the time, too. Because if we're on FaceTime together, then you're not doing anything shady. I can see what you're doing. I can hear what you're doing. I can keep tabs on you. So we need to be on FaceTime 22 hours a day. She couldn't control Emily, which is why they always fought. Les control.
It was like, why are you with that? And it's like, well, we're going to judge you for being with that. Like, for sure.
It's really hard to leave someone who is literally controlling every ounce of everything you do. Like,
Yeah, and that was
Exactly.
her goal, I think, from the jump.
I completely agree. And I think that once people kind of figured it out, like especially reaction channels, they stopped, the hypercriticism of you, if that makes sense, because it was like, oh, it's an abusive relationship, and at least anybody with a brain that knows anything about abusive relationships stopped. Sorry, there's one that popped into my head. Anyways, moving on. And I just can't. I'm sorry, I can't wrap my head around the fact that like you weren't allowed to watch reactions. Did she make you read hate comments though?
No,
No.
she would just pick out one.
She wasn't that way with Destiny. I mean, when Destiny does her live panel with Beck in the next couple weeks, we can ask her. But I would imagine that Amberlynn went through Destiny's phone. I mean, we have heard the stories about Amberlynn telling Destiny that she couldn't take her lunch break at work and talk with coworkers. She needed to go out to her car and FaceTime her. I'd imagine some of the same shit went down. I would imagine Amberlynn went through her phone. Amberlynn always wanted to be on a phone call with her. It was all the same shit.
Ones and read them to me, especially if they made her look really, really bad, because she would want my sympathy.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, I'm silent. I just got extremely mad on your behalf. Like,
So
this
did
is utter
I.
fucking bullshit.
That is awful. So, okay, I have a question because I was in an abusive relationship and they did something similar. So this is like on a personal level, me and you kind of thing. Did they monitor your text messages to where it's like, well, what did you mean when you told her this? What did you mean when you like sent this? What do they mean when they're telling you that? Did they do that as well? Or she do that as well?
Yeah. Like, that was actually what our last huge fight was about, was because she went through my text messages with Eric and Ricky and was mad that she wasn't a part of that group text,
chat.
which we had for years. Even before we knew her, we had that group chat. And so she was pretending to be mean to them, demanding that we put her in that chat. And they were like, well, why don't we just make one for all four of us? And she's like, no, I want to be in that chat. Because she thought that if she got access and got added to that chat, that she would be able to see everything that we had talked about prior. So she wanted to be able to go through it as much as she wanted for years, just to see, because she was so dead set that everybody constantly talked about her behind her back. So, like, yeah, we got into a huge fight about that.
Sorry, not to take it back to high school again, but you know what psycho people would do? I remember when we were kids, what people would do is when you would go through someone else's phone. At least this is the case on iPhones. I don't know if all devices can do this, but at the top of your phone, you can search on iPhones. You can go in and you can search like a code, like a keyword or something. So what people would do is they would go through people's phones and they would search keywords. So if I were to go through one of my old friends' phones to see if they were talking shit on me, I would go in their phone and I would search the word Jordy. Or I would search the word, like I would search like my last name, or I would search like keywords about like our friendship that would pop up. So it would take me directly to the text message where they were talking about it. Like psychotic shit, like something I would have never thought to do. I remember the first time one of my girlfriends did that. She had like she had like her boyfriend's phone or whatever, and she went in and she typed in the word like her first name, and I was like, oh my god, I've never thought to do that. I do that in Discord servers. I do that in Discord servers too, but it's not like to look up like shit talking on me. It's usually as like a reference. Like you can do that with Control F on your keyboard too. If you do Control F, you can search keywords on a page. But yeah, it is psychotic. I mean, the first time that I saw someone do that, I was like, oh, you know what was another crazy thing that people would do is when they wanted to see if someone was on their phone but not replying to them, what they would do is they would go in. And so like say somebody's boyfriend was ignoring them. Another psychotic thing they would do. They would send them a Snapchat, and if they wouldn't open it, they wouldn't like tell them like, oh, look, I'm acknowledging your message. They would click on their username and they would see the points that they had. So say it was like 600 points. And then 5 minutes would go by and they didn't get texted back. They didn't get Snapchatted back. They didn't get called. They didn't get acknowledged by their boyfriend or their crush or whatever. They would go in and they would see if their points increased. Because if their points went up on Snapchat, that means that that person had an interaction with someone else on Snapchat. So yeah, watching people's Snap scores. That's like another psycho thing that people do. Yeah, to see if their points go up. That means that they either sent or received a Snapchat from someone else and they're deliberately ignoring yours or deliberately, not opening yours on purpose. They don't want to talk to you right now. See, monitoring people's Snap scores. Oh my gosh. And then another thing is like reflection. I mean, like this is like next level shit. And like, I don't think that this ever works, but like if you take a picture of someone's face while they're looking at their phone and then you zoom in on the pupil, sometimes the pupil will show you the reflection of what's in their phone. Or like if you're in a car and someone's playing on their phone, you can take a picture of the window and the window will show the reflection of their phone and what they're looking at. I'm telling you.
And that's the one thing that sparked me wanting to definitely leave her.
Let me just say something real quick.
You're good, man.
You know how she was afraid of everyone talking shit about her behind her back? Well, now we're talking to your front.
Back up from the mic because nobody understood you.
Now, okay, she was so scared that people were talking crap about her behind her back. Well, now we talk it to your front with all these channels that are about you.
Now you can hear what we have to say.
The prophecy came true, but in a whole other light.
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. The unhinged just keeps unhinging. Oh,
the
my
more
goodness.
you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. So
Yeah.
I mean, it was a matter of time, to be completely fair. Like, you can't expect to hurt and abuse AB. Sorry, Kim's gonna yell at me. Kim is one of my mods. She's a great mod and she's vicious. Anyways, you can't AB a bunch of people and then go, oh, I'm gonna be fine. All of them are afraid of me. Actually, that leads me to a really good question that I saw in the forums, and that was to Beck. During Destiny's, like when she came out with the tea the first time, they were on a live and she called Amber, and Destiny had mentioned, like, Beck told me to call her. That's not the question. The question is that Amber said, I know damn well she wasn't going to talk about me, and because everybody knows nobody knows what Beck has put me through.
The hell?
And I don't know. Everybody has been trying to figure out what the hell she was talking about.
Me too. I'm like, what did I put you through? Besides literally taking care of you,
I love that.
bathing
Girl,
you,
same.
feeding you. Like, what did I put you through? I went and got you McDonald's anytime you wanted. I went to the store for you every day. I did everything you told me to do 24/7. It's like, what do you mean? What did I do?
Right, Amberlynn, explain it. We want to know, what exactly did Beck do? Address it, please.
And here's the
I'm not going to address it because that's just going to fuel negativity. I'm not going to go tit for tat with Girl World and say everything that actually happened versus things that Beck is lying about. So you know what? I'm just not addressing it at all. That's Amberlynn's scapegoat.
real quick, I'll speak directly to Amber too on behalf of Casey and Beck. It is not their job to disprove, what they're like saying. It's your job to prove what you're saying is true. Does that make sense?
She's not saying anything. Amberlynn's not saying. She's,
no, she said in her live last night. In her live last night, she's like, I should go and just start talking about all the lies. That's completely fine. It is not their job.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. What is Beck lying about? What is Casey lying about? What is Destiny lying about?
To disprove your lies. It is your fucking job to prove that you're telling the truth. Period.
Right.
You cannot expect either of these victims to come out and fucking try and disprove what you're saying. That is not how this works. I'm sorry, I get aggressive about this because it pisses me off. It's like, well, I would talk to her directly. Why the fuck?
Camco, thank you. Jordy having the 2-liter of Code Red on standby has me rolling. Always. Prison Becky, thank you again. Food ain't dinner because you didn't like it. Oh, sorry. I think I did that one already. Oh, Grace. Hi, Grace. I usually only eat once a day, or I usually only eat dinner. There's one on Fat Hall of Fame that's similar to that. It's I haven't eaten all day. When people like go down to like eat something like really bad or like a large amount of food, they always say, well, I haven't eaten all day. Like, meanwhile, they've had breakfast, they've had coffee, they've had a snack. They have eaten. But then when they sit down to like a gargantuan plate of food, it's like, well, I haven't eaten all day. Dead Switch, thank you. Spilling sauce on your shirt and licking it off instead of using a napkin. Happy Wednesday, girls. That is pretty fat. I will say that is pretty fat. Licking condiments off of your shirt. If anything, I feel like that would fall under bariatric crimes against humanity. Yeah, no. I recently got arm's reach, within arm's reach. I recently got a Tide stick. So if I ever get a stain, I'm ready. I'm ready. No licking shirts for me. I got my Tide stick, y'all. Deborah Kirk, thank you. Amber will be wearing a groove in the floor, pacing back and forth, listening to this podcast, clutching a party-sized bag of meat sticks, screaming, "Bull! Bull!" Amberlynn probably knows that she can't salvage her reputation at this point. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Guys, look at her channel. Look at her views lately. I mean, 2024 was a rough year for her in terms of Amberlynn's reputation. I mean, 2025 has started out with a bang. I mean, just continuing to bury this bitch. I mean, just going in on her. And I mean, there's a lot to expose.
With anybody, there is nobody in girl world that's like, you know what, Amber, you're fucking right. You're absolutely
extremely mad. And I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, did you give Amber my number? And I was like, no, I did. Never would I ever do that to you. Like, no, because I knew how they were. This was another friend. And I knew how they were. And when I got home from school that day, I asked Amber, what, like, did you get in my phone and get their number to text them? And she admitted she did. She went in my phone, got their number, and texted them bad.
Oh my God. So that friend that Casey had in high school, who Amber like would say, like, you need to get home right now. I don't like you spending time with her. I know that you're sleeping with her, blah, blah, blah. Amber went in Casey's phone, got the number, and then reached out to them.
Stuff. Just to drive them away from me.
That is narcissism. Or sorry, the words. That is narcissism 101.
those are
I
words.
remember
I'm
me.
very proud of you.
Yeah.
So
Amazing words.
that is literally like the end game for any narcissist coming out of a relationship, is to go and spread the hate and try to turn people against the victim. It's like textbook. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly just think that she wants to isolate her partners to herself. She doesn't want her partners to have anybody on the outside.
Absolutely. And the really, like, the part that makes me...
Because if her partners have friends, then they have people talking. Because Amber knows that she's horrible. Amber knows that. So if she can keep someone completely isolated, completely thinking what Amberlynn wants them to think, that's her only shot of being able to keep them. And that's why I think that Amberlynn will, in the future, start to date younger people, because younger people are more naive. People in their 30s, like, you know, the naivete wears off. Like, you know, people start to like see like, oh, that's what you meant by that. But I mean, like, if Amberlynn if she starts to date teenagers or people in their early 20s, people that, you know, really haven't been lesbian, out as lesbian for very long, like very unassuming people, then that's probably like the best shot that she would have at like kind of grooming someone into who she wants them to be and like how she doesn't want them to think. She keeps getting older. Yeah, because I mean, people her own age, like, they're not going to put up with this. I mean, like, people, like, because I mean, when this all happened, I mean, Casey was a teenager. When she dated Beck, I mean, they were in their 20s. When she dated Destiny, she was in her early 20s. Actually, I think when they got together, Destiny was 19. But I mean, you know, Jade was in her 20s. But this shit isn't going to fly anymore. I mean, Amberlynn approaching her mid-30s anymore. I mean, people are going to start to see right through this. So she's going to have to be forced to date someone that is more and more naive, can't think for themselves, doesn't want to think for them, unable to think for themselves. That's the only way that she's going to be able to keep somebody.
Quite sad is that you were the one that she was the best.
That's what she was trying to do with Abby. Yeah. Oh, look at this poor girl who has an on the fritz relationship with their parents, isn't out, is afraid of like religious consequences and stuff like that. Let me groom her and let me be her protector and let me be the person that thinks for her and she'll never leave me. Jade was 25 when they got together. So yeah, 20s. Jade got her bag though. Yeah, I mean, Jade got a ton of tattoos. Jade got a car. we don't know if Amberlynn helped out with the car financially, but I mean, Jade got to live there. I think that Amberlynn paid for a lot of that relationship. But like I said, there's a lot about season 5 we'll never know, because I don't think that Jade will ever want to return to talk about it. So it's just gonna have to be like, really the only remembrance or like tea we have from season 5 is what we heard through Alexis and Erica. I mean, Erica told us the one time that they got in a physical altercation and there was like a sharp utensil involved. It's like, was that one time? Was that multiple times? Like, was that the worst time? Amberlynn falling on the ground, unable to get up like a turtle on its back. I mean, some of the shit that happened in season 5, that'll just be lost in the archives forever unless Jade comes back, which I don't think she will.
She did the best at. And it always makes me sad because, and I think it makes all of Girl World sad, because once you started coming out after the breakup, we all started realizing what was happening. And watching it, it feels like I don't know. We're just watchers. It's a parasocial relationship. You don't really know that we exist until we exist. But at the same time, for the people that have been through it and stuff like that, it's like, it made us feel like, oh, we should have done something. We should have, like, I don't know what we could have done, but
I would have left Amber on the floor. Well, Jade did. Jade did leave her on the floor. I don't know for how long. I mean, she helped her up eventually, but I think that she did leave her on the floor for a while. Tori Rose Dennis, thank you. I just found out that my ex-friend, who reminds me of Amberlynn, just named her pets after me and my dog. I haven't spoken to her since 2019. Stay far away from that, Tori Rose. What the hell? Uma, thank you for your membership. Welcome, welcome, Uma. Darla, hi, Darla. For my job, I work with Medicaid and providers. Providers bill Medicaid up to $50,000 to $70,000 per year for live-in support. Oh my God. She easily owes Beck 6 figures. Easily. From YouTube alone, just from like AdSense pay and stuff, super chats, that kind of stuff. It's in my opinion, it's probably somewhere between like 40 and 50,000. But yeah, like the caretaker pay and everything. I mean, the amount of money that she owes Beck for what Beck did for her back then. Mel, hi Mel. So happy you went live on my birthday, especially with all this tea. It hasn't been the best. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much, Mel. I'm so sorry to hear that your birthday isn't going that well. Let's get some cupcakes in the chat for Mel. Let's get some cupcake emojis. Let's cheer up Mel a little bit. They haven't been having the best birthday.
we should have done something. You know what I mean? And that makes me very, very sad.
Amber's personality shifts from person to person, which is like an observation a lot of Girl World make.
Again, I was 15 and all my friends were in relationships. So I was like, oh, what am I doing wrong? As a teenager, that social pressure. Mm-hmm. And in the beginning, it was fine. It was like a normal conversation. Again, we weren't in person. I met her on Moko Space. If anyone remembers Moko Space, that's where I met her on. And
the internet, her prowling grounds. Sorry.
The internet, yeah. And it was fine at first. Like, it was perfectly fine. I didn't sense anything manipulative in the time. I grew up and looked back and realized, wow, that was all of it. Like, in the beginning, like, it took her no time at all, like, towards the beginning to start getting manipulative. As an adult, I see every time she tried to, like, because I wanted to talk to her on the phone because I never really got to, and I was like excited every single time. And she would hold those, like, as to get me to either like be home and like not do anything. That way I was like waiting like a puppy dog for these phone calls. And she would always say, like, well, I'm sleeping in, I'm sleeping in the not living room. Like, she said the kitchen at one point at her foster parents' house before they built her own room. And she's like, I can't because they'll get mad it's late. And as an adult, I'm like, as a kid, I was like, oh, okay, parents, whatever. I didn't think too much of it. That's the thing. As a child, I didn't think far beyond, she's telling me this, why wouldn't I believe her? And as it went on, it was just like more of, what are you saying on your MySpace? Why are you saying that on your MySpace? I want you to say that you're with someone. What are you doing? Why can't you text me at school? My phone had a bad battery, so it would just die at school. And anyway, I was at school, like, right. And so it was like, why aren't you messaging me here? Why aren't you messaging me there? And then I started to, as I was with her, I developed anxiety really, really badly. And it was just, and then she admitted to, I don't think I ever said this. She admitted to me with text messaging and everything like that, that she cheated on me with a girl in the hot tub. Like, she was in the hot tub and she made out with, you know, her school buddy, like not once, a few times. And she told me over text message. Yet if I showed any kind of getting close with anyone at school, she would get on my ass.
For sure. Like, she would, I get it. She would be so flirty with everybody. But like the second she thought that you were being flirty or anything, like, and I wasn't ever a flirty person, but it's like if she would be like if I had a female friend, do you have a crush on her or something? And I'm like, no, I'm not like you.
Wow.
Ooh, that's a burn. That's a good burn.
No, I'm not like it. God.
Jesus.
No, I'm not like you. No, I'm not like you. I'm extremely worse.
Yeah.
That's crazy. She's just been this way her whole life, man. Like,
I think
there's
she's
just no
stuck
break,
in
man.
being a teenager. She's never, ever going to grow out of it.
You know, this actually brings up something, because this is a very
Yeah, I mean, this is like psycho mean girl shit. Like psychotic mean girl shit. High school. No, middle school.
unique position, because she had mentioned last night, like, oh, Destiny and Becca, I understand they knew each other. This is actually really interesting because you guys knew her years apart, which means stories can change and lies can change. So I actually want to ask about her foster care experience from what she told you, because Casey has told me a lot behind the scenes.
Beck said what, not Amber? You missed the context? I may have missed the context. Amber is the size of a hot tub. Oh, Beck said, I'm not like you, to Amber being flirty. I bet that didn't sit well with Amber.
The scenes, but I don't think he's ever really talked about it. But what he has told me is completely different from what we have talked about. You know what I mean? Like what she's talking about now.
Early age, she did start to go because of, you know, she went in
Recently, but you have told me that that's not necessarily true, correct?
So I don't know how many foster homes she went into. All I know is the one that she stayed at when I met her, and the one that she ended up aging out of. But she's told me she's went to a lot of foster homes, and I'm not, I don't have proof whether she did or she didn't.
Yeah.
But I know that from an early age, she did start to go because of, her parents. But I know more so about the one that she remained at until she aged out, until she moved to Oklahoma.
And that's the one that like built her rooms and paid for her phone and took her to Disney World and stuff, correct?
Yeah.
Wait, took her to Disney World. She told me that she had to stay home in the garage while the house got defogged while they went to Disney World.
No.
No.
No?
No, never have I ever heard that.
Oh, that's what she told me.
No.
What a stupid
That
thing to lie
also
about.
made
I wasn't allowed to go to Disney World. They made me stay home.
me so sad. That was one of the things that just broke my heart for her.
No.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, like she was some kind of English orphan. Pop-Tart said that, and I'm like, I don't know why.
Oliver Twist.
Why?
I wouldn't want to go to Disney with Amber. Could you imagine being her riding partner? No way.
Am I even surprised, man?
Like why?
Why am I taken aback at all?
Especially on some of the rides. Have you guys ever been on have you ever been to like an amusement park before? And if you sit on the inside and like the ride like throws you back and forth, like you can get like crushed by the other person. I mean, that's a hazard.
Like, what is wrong?
That's okay. Anyways, go back to the question.
Amber said she had to stay in the garage. I don't think that Amberlynn was going to miss her opportunity to walk around with Mickey ears while eating a smoked turkey leg.
From the farm stand. I'm my blabbers have been gassed.
I have an interesting question that somebody asked here. It's for both of you again. Has Amber ever threatened either of you behind the scenes to stay quiet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spill.
Very
No hesitation. Yes.
much.
How so?
Follow up.
Well, I mean, definitely whenever I was like, stop talking about me or I'm going to go, I'm going to sue you, which I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to shut her up. And she was just like, well, if you don't talk about me, then I won't talk about you. But if you talk about me, I'll sue you too. And I'm just like, whatever. But then she wouldn't stop talking about me.
Right?
You know?
That was driving everybody nuts. It's like, lady, like, listen to your own words.
You're stabbing yourself, right? Like I'm not holding the knife. You're doing okay. Yeah.
Right.
And I also felt scared because it's like, look what she did to Casey. What could she lie about on me? You know, I had no
Right.
Hippie birdie, this is your one and only warning.
idea. She's crazy.
That's an understatement.
She is crazy.
So
But
yeah, I do think that she was trying to use fear as a tactic to get people to hush hush about what awful things she has done.
I mean, yeah.
Which is funny because that's the exact opposite thing that happened when she came out and lied about Casey. That blew back in her face pretty hard.
Oh yeah. Like she doesn't learn. It's amazing the lack of awareness she has.
Oh,
What
yeah,
did
for sure.
what did she do with you, Casey?
she sent me a whole bunch of messages trying to get me to take my video down when I put it up. A whole bunch. And she's like, I took down mine, so you need to take down yours. And I was like, no. Like, I simply
Yeah, no. You accused me of SA like that to your audience? Hell no, I'm not taking my video down.
replied, no, this is staying up. And it has stayed up for, God, almost 10 years now.
You
Yeah,
still have that
yeah.
personality type. You're like, I'm gonna put it out there and it's gonna stay out there no matter what.
Yep.
Because at
Wherever.
that point, when she did all that, like, I was a whole different person. I already been through a ringer with her.
Maria Pondu, thank you. As a caregiver for elderly, I make $22 an hour. I'm not a live-in caregiver, but the shift differentiates when working overnights. It's $32 an hour. Jeez. And I mean, like, Amberlynn, I mean, like, not to take away from, like, you know, the amount of work that caregivers do and everything, but, like, Beck had to do a lot in addition to what a hired caregiver does. I mean, I don't think that, like, yeah, you can make, like, a caregiver wipe you and stuff, but, like, you can't make a caregiver drive to Walmart or Burger King and renal failure, and, like, you can't treat a caregiver like shit and, like, mentally abuse them. I mean, the things that Amberlynn was doing on top of that, it's like, that's some way extra shit. Justice, thank you. I worked with older people with disabilities and I got paid terrible then, and then I went to daycare. Jeez. Maybe a new line of profession altogether, Justice. Kiwi Cantaloupe, thank you. What do you think about Amberlynn saying her ideal body is a curvy 200 pounds? Yet it sounds like she thinks her actual weight is a normal low BMI. She also made her Scotty self-insert very thin. Oh my gosh. I'd love to see what Amberlynn's Bitmoji looks like. It's probably like as thin as possible. Oh gosh. I don't think that Amberlynn has an ideal body weight. I mean, if she hasn't come to terms with the fact that she's always just going to look like a atrocity, I just delusional. Because I mean, like, you know, as nasty as it is, I mean, once your body gets that big, in a lot of ways, it's like shot. It's like your body's shot. There's really not a lot coming back from it. Yeah, you can get skin removal surgery. Yeah, you can tone up. Yeah, you can get this procedure. Yeah, you can get that. But I mean, like, the amount of money and the amount of time and the amount of effort that you have to put into making it, you know, like, to come back from being a blob, it's like, once you go down that road, I mean, I don't know if you could, yeah, your body's ruined forever. I don't know. King Didi, thank you. Amber is Cartman, but slightly less racist. Amber and Cartman have a lot in common. I'll tell you that. I'm the same height as Amber, and I'm just barely under 200 pounds. I'm not curvy. I'm still fat. Yeah, 5 foot. What is she? 5'3". 5'3", 200 is still. I don't know if I'd call that curvy. I'm sorry. But hey, I mean, you acknowledged it. Probably 150,000 in surgeries.
I've been through a ringer with others. You know, my ex-fiance was another freaking ringer. And at that point, I was so tired and so beaten and so broken and so done that when all that came out, I was like, you know what? No, I am not taking this down. You can't convince me to take it down. You cannot send me all these messages for me to take it down. Okay, you took yours down. That's fine. Take yours down. But apparently you all see what happened with that. Everyone got a hold of that. And it's like, and I'm like, no, mine will never be taken down. To this day, it's still there. Like, I see when people watch it, it comes up on my thing. But to this day, it is still there, and it's never going to go away because I couldn't believe that she did that. I was like, speechless is an understatement. I felt like my whole world shattered.
You know, something else that always really confused me is if you had supposedly done any of that, then why was she even trying to contact you after the fact?
I don't know.
Especially to ask you about sex.
Right?
Really gross sex.
Like who does like
The
no
questions were gross. Like they just were. I'm not trying to be gross. They were just gross. They were gross questions.
Yeah. And no victim of that kind of AB is going to seek out that type of advice from the person who supposedly harmed them.
Exactly.
That's not going to happen. Like, it's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing.
You know, honestly, that should have been my first clue right there. Like, no sane person would do that.
Like,
It's hard when you're in the mix of it, though, Beck. Don't push
Yeah.
yourself too hard there.
That is definitely like not your fault because it's really easy to stand outside of the house and go, hey, that's on fire, but it's very hard to be in the house with it on fire on the upper floor and you don't know, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Eventually
the fire reaches
you'll
the
find out.
second
Yeah,
floor.
exactly.
Yeah.
Until the fire reaches the second floor and you'll find out quickly. Does that make sense? And they're like, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah.
There's a fire. And then there was a question here that I wanted to ask. Hold on. If I can find it. You guys, by the way, audience, there's over 300 questions here. There is no way that we're gonna be able to get to all of them. There's a lot. We'll save them. We'll come back. So I'm not kidding. And they keep coming. So my question that I come across that I really, really liked is, so was there ever a moment in time where it actually did apologize for something that hurt you and it actually felt
The problem that I have, I think that the panel is doing a good job. I think that this person, they have a very good speaking voice, and I think that they're conducting it well. The thing that I don't like about the questions, and if you are someone that is submitting these questions, guys, you have to remember, I mean, this was 5 years ago for Beck. This was over 5 years ago. For Casey, this was like over 10 years ago. What I would encourage you to do is look at old videos, look at old footage, look at old Ask FMs, look at old stuff. In your question, try to jog Casey or Beck's memory and kind of go with your question from there. Like, do you remember this time that you guys were at the zoo, and do you remember when she said this? Like, how did that make you feel? Like, why did this happen? Why did this occur? Like, that would be a good way to phrase a question. But I mean, these questions that are just phrased like, name the time that Amberlynn was the most manipulative ever. Like, what was the absolute breaking point that really made you realize that Amberlynn was a fat piece of shit? Like these questions like this, they're way too general. You need to kind of help them along, jog their memory a little bit. I mean, some of these questions are just so vague.
genuine and not manipulative.
No.
That was my answer.
I really don't think she's ever been genuine about anything a day in her life.
I don't think she has.
Even to herself, I just really don't. I don't think she knows what it means.
See, and then like a very vague question like that warrants a very vague answer from Beck. What is the most disingenuous time that you can ever recall Amberlynn being? And then Beck will say, well, I don't think she's ever been genuine. Oh, pop off. Yes. Z-snap. It's like, come on. We got to get in the nitty gritty here.
I think she lacks the capability, honestly.
Yeah.
There's actually, funny enough, a fantastic question regarding the genuinity of Amberlynn here.
Oh, let's do it.
It's, hi, y'all. How much of Amber's life is dramatized for the audience? Is there anything that isn't scripted for her own narrative? And love, Isabella.
She will take any narrative and just try to twist it to fit it her way. And if it doesn't come out making her sound good, she will not add it.
God damn.
Which we saw her do it actually. We saw her try and do that last night in the live, to be fair. Anybody that has seen it or heard about it. I think she's trying to twist all of this into a narrative that fits what she needs to talk about.
Right.
Yeah, it's not good. I'm sorry. Just I can't get over Casey just okay. Well then, thank you for that very informative and deep answer from Casey. And then
He doesn't need to elaborate because there's so much.
But I'm saying so many things. I haven't really had to say too much, is because everybody's already seen it in her content anyway. You know, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I did clap back here and there, but I just kind of sat back and let it happen. I was going to let her make herself look like a fool on her own. I knew I didn't have to say nothing because people would already see it.
Well, you were right.
Mm-hmm. And like as tempting as it can be to sometimes want to get in the last word or make it seem like you're dominating the conversation, you're getting the last laugh. Sometimes you just need to let a situation speak for itself. Let people observe on their own. So that's a smart way to look at it.
I saw this. I have to
Turns
throw it up
out.
here. There you go.
Just like when she said recently that she wasn't going to talk about me no more. I was like, yeah, you will. And
Yeah.
she did. Of course. We all know that Amber never sticks to anything she says she's going to do.
She really
That's
doesn't.
the
I
fucking
mean, yeah,
truth.
that
is
the
the absolute
meme
truth.
of Amberlynn Reed right there.
Yeah. Anyways, I have thoughts, and we're gonna let those go out into the universe, because they're not nice. Let me see here. Okay, this is a question is for both of you. What attracted you to Amber in the first place? Because she seems to just take advantage of very kind and vulnerable people, and then isolates them and tears them down when she gets moved in or closer to them. So, what at first was the thing that made you go, okay, let's give it a try, kind of thing?
Well, I mean, with this, I can even kind of answer it on there. I mean, Casey was so young. I mean, it's like you can't really ask a 15-year-old that because it's like, I mean, Casey's already said like societal pressure to be in a relationship at 15. So, I mean, like, I don't really know how Casey is going to answer this, but I mean, for Beck kind of made it clear, like, they didn't really want a relationship. It was kind of Amberlynn, like, bulldozing their way in.
I can go first.
The silence is
See,
deafening.
For me, it was really just like, you know, a friendship. And she was funny and somebody to talk to. And she was very easy. And that's because I realized that now she was masking me to make me comfortable, to make me go, oh, I can really connect with this person. But then once we actually got together, it's like, you know, I started seeing we really didn't have anything in common.
Yeah, and then the beast then reveals its true colors.
Like at all.
That makes perfect sense because she keeps it up for a while and then lets it go. If that makes any kind of sense.
Same thing happened with Jade. Do you think that she was like a monster, awful horror? I mean, do you think that Amberlynn fell on the ground the first night Jade was there and couldn't get up like a turtle on its back? Do you think that that happened a year into their relationship?
Like once
But I mean, that's any relationship. Everyone always puts up their best front when they first get into it, and then like they slowly, you know, start to show more of who they are.
she has you guys like down pat, she's just like, okay, now I could be the psycho that I was born to
Yeah, do you think that Amberlynn was waffle stomping the first night Jade moved in?
be. I'm sorry. Casey, what about you?
Man, I hate repeating myself here with it. I was a child again, and I just wanted. What attracted me to her was the fact that I finally found someone who actually liked. Okay, well, you all know I'm trying to say like girls, and like I was starting to get to know her, and yeah, like Beck said, funny, easy to talk to. You know, I was happy to be wanted in that way. Like that was the main thing too. I was so happy that someone wanted me in a romantic way, because I wanted to fit in as a kid. I wanted to be like my friends who had relationships. And Amber provided that.
That makes me sad. You made me sad.
Right.
I'm trying to keep the energy up here, Casey. Jesus. No, I'm just
I also, I mean, not in the same way, but I sort of get what you mean. Like I was lonely and I didn't have a lot of friends. Literally the only friends I had was Eric and Ricky. I didn't go out to the bars. I didn't have dating sites and stuff like that, you know? So it's like I met her by chance and I'd started making this friendship and getting this connection with her, and it's like, well, you have to date me or I'm getting out the door.
God.
So, I feel you. Like,
That's so creepy.
you just wanted someone because you felt lonely and you wanted to fit in, and I get that.
My heart hurts. From Erin Elizabeth, by the way, this is the question. She just says that she's sending love to you both, and she's proud of both of you. Just even the last
I do agree. And like,
is new to the girl.
Like, I've never felt this way in my life. I honestly, ever since I was little, had this deep rooted feeling that I would just never really truly be happy. So that's why I just let myself have these awful partners, because Amber wasn't my only awful partner. And, I was just I was like, this is what I deserve. I don't deserve anything better. And now I know that's not the case. And I actually have somebody I truly want to be with. And that's the first time in my life, So it's like almost unbelievable. I never thought I would have this.
well, you're right. Using just the energy is watching you. It's fun to watch.
Really analog horror live streams if he's
I could watch those at my job. That'd be cool.
I would love to play horror games with you guys just so you could experience Casey laugh as you die. He will.
No such thing.
Do you know what the forest is? Just out of nowhere, you just hear Casey go, he.
Oh, no. But like,
Oh,
I was sneaking around shooting Jade, trying to be so helpful. Like, are you hungry? Did you step on something? The only reason why I told her that I was shooting her is because I ran out of arrows.
Actually, just let me know that we do have that game.
Is there phasmophobia? Does anyone have phasmophobia?
Ice hunting game, gamer hide.
Uh,
Okay, go ahead.
No, you're good. Surprised if I throw my controller or whatever I'm using, I do get scared.
It's okay. I scream like whenever I get scared. So.
Yeah, we all.
Wait, so what?
Do you want me to read it again?
Yeah, sorry. I had a hard time understanding.
That's okay. It's partially my voice. Trajectory of your life and what does healing look like for you? Ship with ALR, chair proud of you both. My question is, how has your relationship with ALR changed the trajectory of your life and what does healing look like for you? And I would say more like how you feel that it may have changed the trajectory of your life.
I don't think that Amberlynn needs to have a lasting impact on them. I mean, I just think that she's a shitty person that they encountered. And if anything, being with Amberlynn taught them how not to be treated, what not to do at a stoplight, and just to avoid toxic people, and that you're better off not making concessions or excuses for people like that. Just wash your hands clean of them. I mean, that's kind of the way I live my life. If you're somebody that constantly lies, constantly makes excuses, constantly has something like just some type of bullshit going on, like just I wash my hands of you. Like, stay away from me. Stay away. No. Go away. So I feel like they have, really realized, what not to do, what not to put up with, really. But I mean, sometimes you don't learn this until later in life. Sometimes you're a lot more willing to put up with bullshit earlier in life.
Because like you can't really know for sure, but
Right.
how has it impacted your decisions going forward and whatnot?
Go too far and not to let myself be manipulated the way that I did with her. And also that it kind of has changed forever in a way that I worry about going out in public sometimes. Not that I don't mind being recognized, but I've always been that person who likes to stay in the background. I like to stand in the corner. I don't like any kind of attention on me whatsoever. I've always been that way. And now it's like, anybody could know me. Like where I work, I could work with somebody who knows about all this and I wouldn't know it, So it's kind of scary.
Wow, I didn't even think about it like that, but yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And it's just like really embarrassing to be tied to her,
Yeah, I get that.
Because I had a very, very good high school friend contact me not too long ago who was like, I've kind of known about this for a while. And I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed.
I feel that for you. I'm so sorry.
You're
Yeah, I mean, I'm very aware that Beck is live streaming. I don't know what people like Brooklyn Blue sending in tomato emojis and typing in all caps Beck's live is going to accomplish. Like, what would you like me to do, Brooklyn Blue? Tomato emoji Beck's live. like what?
all right. I mean, it's not that bad anymore. It's just more or less like I was embarrassed of the situation I was in back then and how she made me look. Like, I know she was really, really hell-bent on making me have the worst angles possible. Just trying to make me look bad. And then,
And
like,
I don't. Sorry, good.
no, you're all right.
I'm just saying, I don't want to tell you how to feel or anything at all, but just try really hard.
About doing this live stream, and they were giving me some pointers that
Window.
I bet. Oh my goodness.
well, and it goes both to you and Casey, because I firmly believe that this is not a new thing for her. She
Thing has been around your entire.
Because she was dating me, right? So he kind of throw it in my face of like, well, you don't understand how. And why aren't you telling me? You don't have to be with me. Like, and if you're getting these messages from a random woman on the internet, or if you're getting some messages from random people on the internet that, are bringing up my past and have found you, I don't know how they found you. And I dated people who knew me from this, who watched, the videos and only wanted to talk.
Yeah, I mean, really, this has to follow them for the rest of their life. I mean, that's kind of shitty. It's like, oh, look what you were involved with. It's like,
talk about all of this, and I didn't want to. I was just like, I'm not this. Like, this is not like, can you get to know me and not like want to just like constantly talk about all of this that happened? Because I don't. In my everyday life, I don't. And I've been very vocal about like, this part of my life only stays here. My job doesn't know about it. My my other parts of my life don't know about it. I keep it so separate because I just there are people who recognize my face a little bit, but I just can't. Like, she really put a red target on my back because of this.
Yeah, for sure. I had worried about that.
yeah, accusing someone of SA, like that being on the internet and like employers or people finding that, like that's not funny.
I was like, I wonder how he fares. Like, I know most of everybody believes you, but it's just like having that on you at all, even if only one person believes it, is just so awful and detrimental.
Employer.
Yeah, and no matter what I do, and I've accepted it, no matter what I do, no matter where I go, no matter how old I get, this will always be there. But so will my video. So it goes two ways. No matter how old I get or she gets, this will always be here. It doesn't just follow me. But then that's another thing too. It follows her, but it also follows everyone she's been with after that fact.
Oh my God, you're reading my mind. Because I was thinking earlier when they were talking about the burning house analogy, I was jumping out the window and Jade was crawling in and had no idea.
Right?
You're like, hey, this is pretty nice. I like this place. And it's like, yeah, the upper.
The upstairs is on fire, but
Did you ever
good luck.
try and warn Jade about any of it?
I didn't know how. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, she's just gonna have to learn and find out for herself. But there was no way she didn't know.
Yeah, because I mean, really, what could have Beck said at that point? No, she's awful. You don't understand what I've just been through these past 4 years. Don't waste your time. Get out now. I mean, Jade probably just would have told herself, well, the only reason Beck's saying that is because, she was the bad one in the relationship. I mean, sometimes you just got to let people figure it out on their own.
Swear that she had to have known who Amber was before reaching out or anything. She had to have. I think she knew what she was getting herself into. I just think she didn't know how bad it was going to be, and then realized that it wasn't worth it, and she bailed too.
She
Can
sure
I
did.
ask what were like one or two things maybe that kind of put that thought into your head that she knew?
I don't know too much. All I know is that at one point she did admit to Amber that she knew before, but she didn't say much about it. She didn't say how she knew or anything like that. So I'm saying if she's saying that she knew a little bit, then she definitely had to know everything.
It was like a vibe kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I know that she had told Amber herself that.
Oh, yeah, I think that people that get in relationship with Amberlynn know exactly what they're doing. But I think that they think to themselves, well, that's not going to happen to me. I'm going to be the exception. I'm going to get in. Amberlynn's not going to bulldoze me. Are you kidding me? She's not going to be calling the shots. She's not going to be playing her games with me. She's not going to sink her claws into my soul. That's not going to happen to me. Sure, she might have done this to Destiny, Beck, Crystal, Casey, whatever. Me? Jade? This ain't gonna happen to me. Same thing with Emily. Emily, out there thinking like master manipulator, being toxic as hell, to all these different people and everything. Oh, you think Amberlynn is gonna be the one that puts me in my place? You think Amberlynn's going to stop me in my tracks? If anything, I'm going to run the show here. I'm going to be the exception.
She had commented or something. Like, I know she was in one of the lives at one point, and that's how people picked up on her. Like the Not So Jaded or whatever.
That's... And honestly, actually, I could ask the same thing to Casey. Did you ever try and warn Crystal? Or did you tell her, Crystal, anything? You couldn't?
I couldn't. Amber had her so wrapped around, like, I wasn't talking to Crystal.
I mean, they were so young, too. I mean, like, you know, from like one adult to another, that actually might be like a substantial conversation that you could have. But I mean, like, two teenagers talking to each other, it's so different.
I didn't speak to her. All I knew is what Amber was talking to her about, and I knew that Amber was telling her a bunch of BS. I knew that. I mean, hell, she did that on Facebook for me to see. So, like,
I saw that.
Yeah, she wasn't shy about it. So it's like I couldn't do anything, and I feel so bad for Crystal, because Crystal, no one deserved, no one after me deserved any of it. No one, but I don't know who came before me.
No one, including you,
like,
for the record.
Yeah.
But like, no one, like, she just got progressively worse. Like, I have watched some of the eras with Nerfy. Like, it just, exposure therapy, it has helped so much. But just watching it and knowing, like, being able to like catch it, I'm just like, oh no. And by the time she got to you, Beck, oh my God, I couldn't even, like, it's hard. The hardest era for me to watch is yours, because that's the Amber I know. Yeah. Exactly, to the T. And so when I'm like watching, and I tell Nerfy and Jade, I said that's the hardest one for me to watch, because it's like watching, it's like seeing her right in front of me all over again. And I don't know, and I'm just like sitting here like, oh my God, Beck, oh no, like this, like, it's just sad.
Yeah. And I just can't imagine, because you were just a kid. I was an adult, but you were a child, and she was being that way toward you.
Yeah, but it's.
I have a bit of a follow-up question. Because Beck was talking about how their phone was infiltrated by Amberlynn, and you were just talking about how you didn't have access to Crystal or any of that, so which means you...
It took me 7 years to leave my relationships. It takes a toll on you and completely brainwashes you. Yeah, I mean, that's like why the worst thing that you could possibly say to someone is like, well, then why didn't you just leave? Well, then why didn't you just leave? It's like telling someone with an eating disorder, well, just eat a cheeseburger. It just comes from a place of ignorance. The smartest thing you can do is know that you'll never have to be in the shoes that other people have been in, and to just try to understand as best you can from their perspective. You have to relearn proper, healthy relationships. Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine, like, if you were to get out of a relationship like this and then get into one where someone, like, actually treats you with respect, actually isn't awful to you, doesn't lie to you, doesn't make you feel awful, it's like, this is odd. Why are you being nice to me?
Seem to have not had any access to Amberlynn's phone. Did Amberlynn have access to your phone?
I made it a point that neither one of us have access to each other's phone, but that didn't mean anything, because she would try, and or she would look over.
Yeah, because she would go in Jade's phone too. When Jade was in the she would do this with all her partners. When Jade was in the shower, Amberlynn would tiptoe in there. Picture a 500-pound woman tiptoeing into a bathroom. Tiptoeing into the bathroom to look at your phone. All the phones she went through. She didn't want them to have any privacy.
Over my shoulder, because like I kind of feel grateful that I wasn't in, we had the era, well, not era, but I was in the time of the smartphones weren't really still a thing. It was still like the keyboard phones.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
And I'm old, but
shut up.
I just made those two grumble. But
yeah, you did.
What do you mean you're old, man? I was born in 90.
Oh, please, 89.
Both of you guys need just all three of y'all.
Jade wants to do this question.
On the day turn 29, how many times now? Anyway.
Oh yeah, I almost.
Yeah, tip waddling, stomp toeing.
I forgot. Happy birthday, Jade. Today's actually Jade's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Jade.
We did it on her birthday. Just wanted to throw that out there. Anyways,
thank you.
But yeah, it was just like it like she tried. She would try, like I said, with the whole like getting my phone while I was getting ready for school, and then because I used to role play, back on MySpace, and I was role playing with somebody, and I didn't know she was looking over my shoulder, and I was like, doing a message back, and she got very upset because it got a little, the role play was like the characters were getting together, right? She got so mad. I didn't know she was reading over my shoulder. She took my phone from my hand and threw it against the wall, and it broke.
Oh,
Yep.
Wow.
Do you see what we mean when we say, like, and this is more towards the audience, do you see what we mean when
Oh, I had never heard that before. I don't know if Casey had talked about that in the past, but Amberlynn grabbed Casey's phone and threw it against the wall and broke it. Oh my God.
when we say that if she was more mobile, she would be dangerous?
yes.
Like, that's violence. That's you know something. Crystal or Casey once told a story about his drawing and how she destroyed this drawing, this beautiful drawing that he had been doing. Did she? Because I know you're an artist too. Did she ever do that when she was jealous of like the time you were spending or anything like that to you as well? Because I know you're also an artist.
Amber just posted. What did she post? Like a video or a community? Wow. Giant ass paragraph. Girl, why did you make it this giant ass paragraph? Come on. Like, put some spaces in between this. You know what? This is annoying. I'm putting my own spaces in it. Screw this. I am. I'm adding my own spaces. That's annoying. I hate when people do a wall of text like that. Okay. After thinking about it and getting the opinion from family, friends, my therapist, and all the stream queens, I have decided I will no longer be silent in a situation where silence isn't the answer and silence is causing me pain and allowing stagnancy in a place where I want to heal. I will share my side, but I will only be doing that in my members only. I will share my side, but gosh darn it, you guys are going to pay $10 for it. If you want to join, click the link below. I want to make it very clear this isn't a place to bash Beck, to insult Beck, or invalidate Beck. It's going to be a place for me to be accountable in the wrongdoings I have done and sharing what I could have done differently. It's also going to be a place for me to share my point of view or situations that I remember differently, because as wrong as I was in a lot of the situations, it's wrong to lie and exaggerate things that are not true. I'm going to take accountability, but I'm also going to call out Beck for lying. I will not be doing this to be believed. I will not be doing this to have more people on my side. Well, what are you doing it for? This is about finally allowing myself to publicly be accountable and stand up for myself. Well, Amberlynn, you have to stand up to begin with. Never mind. Mean. Two things can happen at once. She loves to say this. Oh my God. Amberlynn loves to say that two things can be true at the same time. I can be accountable for a lot of things while also clarifying that other things are not true. Do not let those things get mixed up, please. As much room as Beck is getting to share their truth, I'm now ready to share mine without the, well, guess what Beck did? Because again, that's not what this is about. After sharing what I did in last night's stream, bawling my eyes out and sharing my truth, I actually feel lighter. My mental health has been so bad. It's been scaring me lately. And I realize now it's because of the silence. It's because people are exposing you for who you actually are and you don't have a response to this. You know what? No, I understand why now. It's because I'm taking all of this and I'm not, I need to respond. I need to show my side. I guarantee Amberlynn's side is just going to be, yeah, well, like they did this, they did that. Yeah, but it's just my mental health. No, it's because you're being called out for exactly who you are, Amber. That's why your mental health has been so bad. Your YouTube fame, your YouTube paycheck is slipping away as you know it. And you're realizing that reality's catching up with you. That's why your mental health has been so bad lately. I've been holding on to so much that wants to be let out gracefully. Yeah, you are holding on to a lot. So I'm going to allow myself to do that. Members live streams are always held on Tuesday nights. There will be a lot of tears. I hope that each one is a step closer for everyone to heal. I hope that you guys paying $10 a month will be a step closer to you heal. Oh my God. What a piece of work. What a piece of work. And then at the end of her little promo thing here, she adds in where you can become a member and you can click on this and you can join for $10 a month. At the end of that gigantic paragraph, she provides the link where you can join her channel for $10 a month. Oh, good God. Oh, good God. I'm ready to share my side. I'm ready to talk about what really happened. I have figured it out now. The silence is what is scaring me. The fact that your exes are just burying you with new details every single week. Yeah, that would scare me too. Having your views slip into the 20,000s after being accustomed to such an easy paycheck for so many years. Yeah, that would scare me too. Okay, Amberlynn, go live on your members live stream. Shed all the tears that you feel that you need to shed. But I'm going to do it on my members only live stream. But y'all are going to pay for it, gosh darn it. I'll be damned. I'll be damned if I share this for free. Pop Enjoyer, thank you. At least Cartman didn't lose Kitty to exploring too hard. Hamber can't say the same. Yeah, we need rarity on this panel. Hannah Bobana, thank you. In Australia, 24/7 care is a lot of money a year. I'm in disability. I can imagine. Yeah, any kind of 24/7 care. Jeez. Life with Ron Weasley. Jordy's looking hotter than usual tonight. Thank you so much for that. Site for Psoriasis. Hello. My mom had MS and had stage 4 bowel cancer when she couldn't look after herself. She would cry in embarrassment. I cannot understand how Amberlynn has no shame. I mean, Wipegate. I mean, you have a following on the internet that refers to one of your times in the past as Wipegate. I mean, really, no shame. Thank you so much, Site for Psoriasis. Appreciate you sharing that. Casper, hey Casper, thank you so much. By the way, Casper, thank you for those gifted memberships earlier. Those popped up. I just didn't acknowledge them at the time, but I am now. Thank you so much, Casper. I really appreciate that. Shout out to Aqua and to her health. Ghost emojis for Casper. Thank you so much, Casper. Hello to Aqua as well. Life with Ron Weasley, thank you again. Oh boy, Ron's back, everybody. I ate Jordy's expired zebra cakes. Oh yeah? Did you serve them at your tea party? Thank you, Ron. Really appreciate that, Ron. We love having you here. Hannah Bobana, hi. By the way, that price doesn't include driving, weekend nights, vlogging. I love your take on this and the community. Can I message your Instagram? Same name. You can. Thank you, Hannah. Deparoni, hello. Still never know how not to swell like Swamp Ass. Well, if she's by herself a lot of the time, she probably figures, well, who do I need to smell good for? And then she probably figures, well, if I smell bad, then I'll just spray more Billie Eilish perfume on. So, yeah. If you want me to smell good, then get a wiping. Because otherwise, I don't care. Carissa, thank you. Do you have a bowling ball in your Mary Poppins desk? Probably. A bowling ball? Does this count? Does this count? Thank you, Carissa. Anna Mendez, hi. Amberlynn will need a dentist consultation because those teeth are getting blasted. Get her, Jordy. Oh gosh, I better not do that. Remember when Zachary Michael said that? She said that he was like threatening. What did she say he was doing? Like threatening, threatening physical harm or something like that. Because on a Twitch stream, Zachary Michael said, "Yeah, Amber, we're gonna throw hands." I better edit that out. Replay gang will see that. Funky guy, hey. He will never be a father, but she'll never be a mom without adopting. So, well, it wasn't so much that it was like about adopting. It was about being transphobic. That's like what the gag was about why Amberlynn said that. You might be a mother one day. You might have kids as a woman, but you're not going, I don't care. Like, tape down whatever you want to tape down. You're never going to be a father. Like, that's the egregious part that came from that statement. But I see what you mean, Funky. Thank you. Chubby, hey Chubby. I'm on board for Lent. I will give up carbs as penance and also will help me squeeze into my Deadpool suit next month. This is a win-win. Ryan Reynolds could never. Thank you, Chubby. Guys, what are you giving up for Lent? That's too funny. Rice Noodles, you've started something. Are these chats on Twitch? No, they are super chats sent previously. Sometimes they're on Twitch. Like sometimes I'll read from Twitch's chat. Sometimes I'll read from YouTube's chat. Rice Noodles, thank you again. Amber, you will never be called skinny. Gorda descrecidia. Okay, this is like some other language. This sounds like Spanish. I mean, we all know how French went yesterday. I don't know. Thank you, Rice. Tracy, how you doing, Tracy? Emily probably would never allow her soft, gentle love anywhere near her phone. The stress has my head spinning. Let the takedown commence. Yeah. No, you're not getting in my phone. I wouldn't. Oh my God. Could you imagine what's in Emily's phone? Oh gosh. Kiwi Cantaloupe, thank you. Jordy, either you are psychotic or you need new friends. Oh, about the Snapchat and looking in people's pupils thing. Yeah, I don't know. Probably both. Although a lot of those friends that kind of went on with, like, I don't really keep in touch with anymore, so. Oh, well. Casper, hey! 0.1 health to Aqua. Jordy, you're keeping up my spirit all across Europe, especially Portugal. I am happy to have some type of influence over Europe. Jordy worldwide. Hey. Cringe. Thank you, Casper. Barry, hey, how you doing, Barry? All this excitement's giving me a migraine. I'm just chilling till I fall asleep. I also dyed my hair today and I feel pretty. Hope y'all are doing okay. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you so much, Barry. You're always such like a little nice little light in the super chat. I appreciate that. I hope that you have a good rest of your week with your new hair. Hey. Prison Peggy, nice to see you. If Amber gets in a hot tub, it ceases to be a hot tub. Why? Because all the water gets like flooded out? What do you mean by that? Nicole Garrett, thank you so much for 1 year of membership on YouTube. Thanks for being awesome to get me through the hard times with your kind words. I hope to get 1 more year. How are you doing? I am doing well. Thank you so much for asking that, Nicole. 1 year of membership. Holy cow. Can you believe it's been 12 months already? Thank you, Nicole. Nakama Rose, hello. Once you go blob, that's it, Bob. Oh, gosh. Well, hopefully that saying won't have to stick around much. Jordy fan, hello. I wish it was just Beck and Casey. I don't think a lot of us personally care about what the other 2 people have to say. Am I wrong? Love you, King. I think that a moderator is necessary to kind of keep the flow of the conversation going. I think that they're doing a good job. Because I mean, they're just like reading questions and asking, or just like, no, I think that a moderator is helpful. Hey L, Foodie was bitten by a stray cat named Ray Bees. Oh, that's cute. RAY space bees. Rabies is scary. Have you ever seen anybody like infected with rabies? Like you can't drink water, like your body becomes like hydrophobic, like it rejects water. Like it's scary. Ugh. Worst way to die. Probably not, but one of them. Jessica, thank you. Wow, Amber's truly insane. She's just misunderstood, guys. This is just one big misunderstanding, and she's going to clear it up for all of us in her members only live stream, okay? Make sure to subscribe for $10. We had 5 gifted memberships come in just now from Court of Milk. Thank you so much for doing that, Court of Milk. I really appreciate you expanding my community. Let's get some cow and milk-related emojis up in here for Court of Milk's generosity. Thank you so much. Ew, was there a sweat stain in my pit when I lift up my arm? Maybe a little bit. We're going to pretend we didn't see that. Thank you, Court of Milk. Charisma Lynn, hey! For someone who hasn't drank water for weeks, she sure does have a lot of tears to cry. Oh, gosh. Well, with how swollen Amberlynn is, she could cry out a whole reservoir. Thank you, Charisma. Siggy MT, hey. Not even a Temu therapist would co-sign this. Oh, gosh. Chat BPD might. Mavie, thank you for 4 months. Smooches for shorties, 4 months, and many more, girls. Jordy Wink. Thank you so much, Mavie. Happy to have you for 4 months. Thank you, thank you. Deborah, hey, Deborah. For Lint, I'm going to give up the notion that Amber's human. Demonic presence. Should I keep a crucifix in my Mary Poppins drawer? Maybe some holy water. Oh, gosh. Thank you so much, Deborah. Nice to hear that some of you guys are giving up things for Lent. I appreciate that. Your advertisements are weird. Mark Wahlberg just asked me to join him in prayer. I think that the ads that you receive from YouTube are based on your own search results. I mean, they could be completely random, but I can tell you I'm not going into my YouTube studio and making it so you guys see a specific type of ad. Quart of Milk, thank you again. Turning 33 in about 40 minutes. Wanted to share some love by growing the community. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that you're not too happy about turning 33, but hey, let's get some milk emojis up. A milk and cupcake situation type deal for Quart of Milk's 33rd birthday. Thank you so much, Quart of Milk. I hope you have a good birthday, even though you're not looking forward to it. Oh, gosh. Well, guys, I mean, there's about 50 minutes on this. I knew that we wouldn't finish this. What we might do Friday is we might come back to this. What I'll try to do is I will pick out the parts that are worth reacting to, because there is sometimes a little bit of chatter that really doesn't make for good reactionary content. So I'll try to go through this, pick out the parts that are worth reacting to, and then we will do some more shenanigans. So that'll be the tentative schedule for Friday. In the meantime, there might be another upload. There might be a reaction from Beck. There might be something from Destiny. Who knows? Who knows? But I think that that is going to be it for this evening. Jordy, go to 146.50. All right, we could do that real quick.
Yeah.
She was always like making friends online that were at least 4 to 5, almost 8 years older than me, and they were always like couples.
What?
Oh, I never said this.
Wait, what?
What? No. What did you just say?
I said she was always making friends online, like Moco Space and whatnot,
Uh-huh.
and they were at least like 4 to 5, sometimes 6 to 8 years older than me.
How old were you when this happened, Casey? If you don't mind me asking, you can tell me to shut the hell up. But how old were you when this happened?
When it started happening, 16, 17.
Oh my god.
And she was doing what? Making friends with couples on Mocha Space?
Yeah. So one time, the couple lived across the street from us. We could see their apartment, and they could see ours.
So what would happen?
Like,
Nothing.
were there
Eventually, they saw her, like she couldn't like hide the mask forever, and they didn't want to talk to her anymore. And a
Right.
lot of them, like, when I would sometimes be,
Oh wait, they saw Amberlynn in person, and then they realized who they were talking to, and then they stopped talking to her. Oh, so she was like fat fishing them. Wait, I want to listen to that again.
eventually they saw her, like she couldn't like hide the mask forever, and they didn't want to talk to her anymore. And a
Right.
lot of them, like,
Yeah, they saw who they were talking to online, and then they realized that it was Amberlynn, and oh yeah, I bet you Amberlynn would go on there, and she's like, yeah, I'm a 5'6" bombshell blonde, skinny mini, size 00. Oh, they were looking for a third. Well, they found they found a 5th, 6th, and 7th.
when I would sometimes be allowed to talk to them, or I talked to them, they started liking me more because I was a kid. God, I can't believe I got into all that as a child.
I know, like 16 years old, Amberlynn befriending couples in their 20s.
But like,
Wait, so was she trying to get
like,
partners for you?
Yeah,
all?
I don't
like,
know. She just wanted
Lincoln?
to make friends. I guess she wanted to make friends that were, lesbian like her, but she never.
She wanted back burners. In case her safety net fell through, she wanted some type of situation that she could hone in on. Oh, well, if you break up with me and I don't have anywhere to go after this, I can go live with that couple across the street that I met on Webkins, or whatever the fuck game they were playing.
Met up with any of them. The only one was Crystal. I forgot how, like,
this
like, yeah, the
explains
only one's
Libby
Crystal.
so fucking much right now.
But she would make friends. Like, there was a few that were like closer to my age, but all of them were adults. Like, none of them were teenagers like me. All of them were adults. But Amber was also an adult. But she would make these friends, like these couple friends, and we never hung out with them or nothing like that. But like, a lot of them stopped talking to her because she became too much or too demanding, stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or they
Yeah.
started liking me more.
And that's just weird.
That's very weird. Well, that's weird on both parts. That's weird on her part because ew, and that's weird on the adults to look at teenagers and be like, "Hey, they look like friends."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird all around.
Because
Jeez.
honestly, I don't understand. I'm one of those people. I don't care about your gender. That is a weird situation, and if you are doing that with teenagers, it is weird. They are not your friends. Like,
Right.
they are teenagers.
Yeah. And you know what? I look back, something similar to what Casey said earlier. It's like you don't really like understand like the gravity of a situation until you're older. I remember being like 11 or 12 years old talking to like fully grown adults on chat rooms when I would play World of Warcraft. I look back on that now and I just shudder. I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? And why were they talking to me? Like, why were we like, I mean, if I ever got into a Discord and there was someone like a teenager, I'd be like, what the fuck? Why is this person here? I do. I look back on like the early 2000s when I used to use like Ventrilo and TeamSpeak and stuff like that. And these grown adults having conversations with me. Like, why the fuck did that ever go on?
Like,
And I just thought it was normal because I was like, well, yeah, like I don't.
Yeah, and of course, like at that age, I thought it was cool. It's like, oh, I have friends that are older. Like, oh, this man and woman in their 30s want to talk to me. I'm 11. Like, oh yeah, like this is cool. It's like, no.
Have lesbian friends or couple friends at school because we were kids. There's not really that. But like, yeah, there are a lot of them she would meet. Like, some didn't live in town, some didn't. Some were like in different states. But Yeah, she would make a lot of friends online, a lot of couple friends online.
Why was it couples? That's the thing that.
It
Hi,
just
mom.
happened to be that
Sorry, my
way.
mom just came into the chat. Hi, mommy. Anyways, sorry.
I
My
don't
mom.
I don't know, like it just happened to be that way. But
So you don't think maybe she was seeking it out?
I never read her messages or anything like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you weren't allowed to.
See,
Like-
exactly. I get it. I never could read anything that she was saying to anybody either. I had no idea.
But she was
So
a notebook face queen, so
I think she always, no matter who she was dating, was always sort of talking to somebody else in the background at all times. And nobody had access to her phone, so it's not like any of us would know.
yeah.
So what you're saying about that whole mocha space, her making friends, and then you not knowing what she's saying to them, like all of that makes so much sense.
Yeah, she
That-
was on notebook space a lot.
That is so disturbing. Because okay, I'm 35. Well, all of us are in our 30s, and all of us are. I'm just gonna leave it there. All of us are in our 30s. Okay, I can't imagine what I could talk to a teenager about.
Right.
I can't
Yeah,
imagine ever,
That was
unless
just
I'm
my own
related
kid.
to the child. Like that's
I don't know what the fuck I would talk to a teenager about. I mean, one of my cousins has kids that are in high school right now, and like when I talk to them, I'm like, I say like, what's the tea? I say like, what's the big stuff happening at school? Like who got in trouble? Like I say stupid shit like that, and they'll like sometimes show me like. You remember the one time I came on here and I showed you that video of that kid that like crawled up into the ceiling of the high school and then fell through? Like they showed me that and shit like that. But like as far as like having a conversation and like things to relate on and stuff, I mean, I don't think. Because like I don't think that I could talk to a teenager about this kind of content, because this type of content really isn't suitable for teenagers. I mean, there might be some of you that are teenagers that are watching and find this amusing and stuff, but as far as it goes, like this kind of shit like isn't the norm for like what teenagers find entertaining.
That's the only thing that I can imagine. I can't imagine like going, "Hey, we have a lot to talk about," and like I'm mentally ill, but I still like cannot imagine having that conversation with somebody.
Right.
That's so gross. Jay, did you have a question? I'm gross.
Okay, Velocitoddler, thank you. Nice to see you tonight too, Velocitoddler. Thanks for checking in here at the end. Kiwi Cantaloupe, hey! I believe Casey, but it feels like they're leaving out a lot of details in the story. Oh, I mean, it doesn't feel that way to me. I don't know, though. Who knows? Maybe more will be disclosed in the future. I don't know. Hope you have a good night, Velocitoddler. Thank you, Kiwi. Casper, hey Casper. Jordy is guiding people across the pond. I'm just chatting on a YouTube channel. That's all I'm doing. I don't know what you're talking about. Guiding? I'm not guiding anybody. Call me Moses. Okay. I think that is going to be it, actually. Really appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, I mean, there's like 40 minutes of this left. Maybe we'll go through the rest of this to see if, there's anything we're chatting about. But I'm thinking our next live stream Friday, we will come back. We'll do a react, and then we'll do maybe some looking into this, and maybe we'll do like a retro or something like that. So that'll be the tentative schedule for Friday. But yeah, other than that, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me while we watched that stream. Highly anticipated. I thought it was good. I know a lot of you said that I looked bored throughout it and everything, but I mean, there was just, it is kind of hard to stay like engaged in a 2-hour conversation sometimes, but I thought that some good tea was spilled. I thought it was a pretty good live stream. I think they did a good job with it. So that is going to be it for tonight. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you have a good rest of